This is my closet, where for some reason, everything that doesn't have a place ended up in here. So my goal is to use the closet as an actual closet for clothes and shoes, but I need to be able to fit everything in here, and that's gonna require a little bit of work. So I sent my design to a company to get a quote, and they came back to be over $7,700. That's crazy. So of course I decided that I'm gonna build this myself. But before I start building, we have a lot to do to get this closet ready. So if you're new here, my name is Tiffany and this is Tony, and we're back in the closet. Alright, so the first thing I'm gonna do is start with the clothing. I wanna take it all out, sort it out by keep, donate, and if something's too wore out to throw away, we can do that. Now, this section right here is my clothes. That back section, this whole section over here is Tony's clothes. She wins on the clothes. However, the shoes, most of them are mine. I think I have a problem of owning too many shoes, but I'm not ashamed of it. Tony!
Hi.
Hi.
Oh, we're already finding weird stuff in here.
Is that a dragon kite? I so want to fly this. Look at this. We got out baskets to sort out what we could donate and what was too worn to save. I'm assuming this happens to almost everyone who's doing a clean out, but as we were going through the closet, we were finding some clothes that we have forgotten about or we haven't been able to find since the closet was so full.
That's the problem, like we don't see what we have. No. No. Why?
We also found something else. Oh, hello. Hi. I didn't know you were there. You were so quiet. That is his hiding spot. He loves hiding there. Did we wake you up? I am so sorry.
Oh, sorry.
Donate. Donate.
You can tell Buddy slept here too.
You can almost make one of those like little cat fuzzies. I forgot what they're called when you make something like out of hair.
We should probably wash and lint roller them before we donate them.
Yeah, we definitely do.
Donate.
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 Donate. I think we're making a dent. I don't think visually it looks like it. Like it feels like there's a lot of clothes in here, but there's a huge pile of clothes that we are getting rid of and donating. I have a lot of polo shirts I used to wear at my last job.
You know, if you get rid of your polo shirts, it's your way of saying, I'm doing this forever.
For those of you who don't know, I quit my full-time job last year, in end of April, May, somewhere around there, and I started doing YouTube full-time. But I didn't like, I don't know, like it took a few months for me to catch up with the idea that this is what I'm doing full time. So like me getting rid of these polos and all the like clothing that I was using for my last job, it's like now like me basically accepting that I'm not going back. I used to work as a kitchen and bathroom designer, or really any room that required cabinetry. You know how big box stores like Home Depot and Lowe's have designers on staff? I was pretty much one of those. I did that for 3 years and I sold the cabinetry for the spaces I designed. I worked for the same company for 11 years total, just different positions throughout my time there, but designing was the last role I did. And I'm really glad that I had that experience because it's helpful when I'm planning a space that involves cabinetry or a built-in closet like the one I plan to create here.
This is my shirt with Buddy on it.
Chunk.
It looks just
It collapsed. I don't know if the huge difference shows in camera, but just to give you a perspective of how much we got rid of. So these are all empty hangers. This whole thing was, what are you doing? This whole thing was full of clothes, like from the beginning all the way to the end. This whole back thing was full of clothes. Now look, it's all empty hangers, but we still have quite a bit to go. We have so many hangers that we started taping them together in bundles of 10 so that they will be easy to handle. In case you were curious about how many hangers we just bundled up.
That's a lot.
We moved all the clothes we were keeping to the library before moving on to the mystery boxes in the bottom of the closet. used the guitar and never learned how to play. Actually, I think this is Tony's guitar, but I have one too. I'm either gonna donate mine or sell it because I don't think I'm ever gonna learn. I tried, it made my fingers hurt, and then I just lost interest. Oh, I forgot what I was actually gonna do was talk about what I'm doing next, and I got sidetracked with the guitars. We're doing the bottom of the closet. We have a lot of stuff. I mean, there's shoes, but there's other things that I don't even know like what they are. I will throw Tony under the bus and say this is mostly hers, except for the shoes. Those are mostly mine. So we're gonna do the bottom, and then when we're done with that, we'll do the top, because then we can get to that easier. All this stuff that's been in the closet has been there for so long that it got quite dusty in there.
I feel like I'm gonna sneeze, but so much dust in here.
While Tony sorted out through her first box, I started sorting out the shoes.
I found some decor that would look amazing in our house. What do you think?
No.
I had all of the Sims 2
Oh, wow.
nightlife. The only nightlife I ever had. Free time, because nothing says fun like pretending that other people are having fun. Pets, because life's better with animals, even when the life doesn't really exist. Here is a game called Diner Dash, because nothing says fun like, you know, working in a restaurant.
I find it funny there's games about working in restaurants or working in retail.
I know, right? Vet Emergency Clinic, Barbie Riding Club.
You actually played all these games?
Yes. I didn't have a social life. I only played sim games. This was my favorite expansion that The Sims ever made, because I worked really hard so I could find a dragon. And I finally got my dragon and it hatched and I'm like, oh my god, it's so cute! And then it's going around my house that's just covered in plants, so it looks like he's flying through a little jungle. And I'm like, he's so cute! Look at him flying! And then he starts breathing fire and I'm like, oh, that's so cute, he's breathing fire! And then all of my house is on fire and my person died. And I'm like, and I just sat there going, of course I didn't save beforehand, so that was done.
So what did you think would happen when you got a dragon?
I don't know. I thought it would just be cool to have a dragon. I didn't think about, you know, the obvious problems that come with... This is why you need to do your research before you get a pet. See, this is where you can pretend you have a hot date, which I never did.
Wait, I wasn't your hot date?
You were my hot date, but not in middle school. The Sims 2 University, where you could go to college for a fraction of the price.
You know, when you describe these games, they sound so ridiculous.
But it's accurate.
But, I don't know, they're fun to play.
Yeah.
Or they were, at least.
Yeah, they were.
I haven't played Sims in a while, but I remember, like, really enjoying it.
Alright, here's a blast from the past. Kimba and Simba. Annabelle's Wish, one of the few movies that makes me cry. Ooh, this might be worth some money. This is a sealed copy of Jurassic Park.
Whoa.
If it's worth more than $500, I'm selling it.
Well, you get a $5 mail-in rebate.
Do you think it's still good? Do you think it's adjusted for inflation? Mortal Kombat.
Oh.
And Mortal Kombat 2.
Mortal Kombat!
Can I help you, ma'am? Madam! Madam! Madam!
We're never gonna get this closet done. So what are those tubes there next to you?
That's my art. I call this one shapes, but only good shapes.
Nice shading.
I know, right? This I call a turtle looking at a thing on the beach.
Oh, they're so cute.
I call this one a temper tantrum in cursive. I think what it is we were supposed to do a series of drawings.
Okay.
And he gave us like ink wells and brushes, and he's like, just paint what you feel. And I'm like, I don't know. I feel
this. I feel that.
I feel like I'm done with this class, is what I feel like.
So was this college, high school?
College.
Oh, okay.
Yes, this is what $30,000 a year gets you in art class.
Okay. Oh, that hurt. You know, YouTube's free, right? So it's a lot of art tutorials.
Back in my day.
So, did you pass this class? Did you get graded? Was this?
Oh, I got a B.
Okay.
I'm a B artist. I didn't get an A, but I got a B. I be good enough.
Speaking of art, Tony has another brand new hobby she's been wanting to tell me about. What are you doing?
I'm using my new tufting kit from Claw Lab, which is today's sponsor.
The Claw Lab Tufting Kit H1 comes with just about everything you need to start learning how to make rugs. So even though Tony's never done this before, she was able to figure it out and put her first project together pretty quickly. She's been watching a ton of those tufting videos and thinking how fun it would be. And with Claw Lab's nailless frame and easy to adjust dials, the setup is super fast so you can get to the fun part faster.
Do you want to try it?
Of course I want to try it.
Show you how to thread it. So you just put it through that needle. You thread it through the 2 holes, like that.
Huh? Okay, so what am I doing?
Push firmly against here. You don't have to be nice to it. You just really put a lot of pressure behind it and let it kind of go up just like a sewing machine.
This is fun. Okay, this is cool. I can do this all day. I'm not gonna lie, this is actually very fun and satisfying. The tufting gun has adjustable speed and illumination, and its reduced vibration makes it smooth and comfortable to use. It only weighs about 550 grams. How does it look? Oh, it's so cute. It needs a nose.
Okay, you're hogging it.
But I like doing this. It's designed to last a long time without much maintenance too, which is great because when you're learning a new hobby, you want to focus on the fun parts. The Tufting Kit H1 reduces a lot of the gap between your vision and your finished craft. So what do you plan to do with this?
Oh, you're gonna build a bench for us to put this on.
I am?
Yes, the kitties said they wanted a special place to sit.
Okay. So while Tony continued tufting, I went to go build a bench for the cats. I've been wanting to try out a new hobby for a while, something that really fills my cup. After Tony finished making the rug for the bench, I decided to add my own little touch to it. So if you've been wanting to try tufting, this is a great time to try it out with the Tufting Kit H1. Check the link in the description and use code TIFF-AFF to get 19% off. Thank you Claw Lab for sponsoring this video. After our mini art show, it was time for a little cleanup before dealing with a mountain of shoes. I'm not gonna lie, I debated on skipping showing any of this process because it's embarrassing to show you this mess. We've had stuff stored for so many years, but I know that I'm not the only person that this happens to. And if your closet is fully organized, congratulations, this video will help you feel better about yourself. My excuse is that I've had at least 2 jobs for as far as I can remember. And the last couple of years, my second job has been making YouTube videos until I quit my main job, of course. Now doing projects and creating videos is all I do, but it still feels like 2 jobs because I work very long hours and there's no end to the amount of work that I have to do. But I'm not complaining because this has been the most fulfilling work that I've ever done, and I'm happy that I get to share that journey with you, even though this part is embarrassing.
Somewhere in the house, I
I want you to incorporate this. This is one of my favorite house decorations of all time. And it has a little lamp, like, I didn't unwrap it, there's like a little ball, but I think you could replace it if you don't like how that looks.
Now it makes sense. Okay, so you want me to incorporate that?
Yes.
Challenge accepted. If this is the first time you're watching this closet makeover, it was done before we redid our bedroom, so this is why I ended up putting the dragon lamp.
I love him. Her. It. I don't know its pronouns, but it's adorable, and I think it's one of the most beautiful dragon sculptures I've ever seen.
I think these are mine. Yep, they're my size. So, years ago I had knee surgery. I had a torn meniscus, so I couldn't walk for a few weeks. So, I had these. Hi.
Hi. What you doing?
Hopping out of here. Here's my ironing board.
What is an ironing board for?
It's for ironing boards. It's amazing how much room is actually in here. This looks so much bigger, but the clothes take so much space, and then obviously we had everything stacked up. It is past 10 o'clock today. This has taken all day. It's amazing how like sorting through stuff can just take so much time. We still have all of the above to go through. But that will be a tomorrow project. I was hoping we get through the whole closet today, but no. So tomorrow we'll go through the rest. Hopefully I'll take these very basic wire shelving out. Just one screw. And finalize my design so I can go buy what I need and start doing the fun stuff.
This closet's quite a bit bigger when there's nothing in it.
Do you want to go up and hand them to me, or do you want me to go up and hand them down to you?
I'll hand them to you. I'm taller.
Good for you. This went on for a while, and apparently Tony had a lot of Monopoly games.
Lion King Monopoly.
Sorry, I'm allergic to Lion King. It even has sound. So every time you pass go, you press a button, or what?
Now, this is gonna shock you. Another Monopoly game.
And then we continue to go through the rest of the boxes, but I'll spare you the details.
Are you having fun? Bam, ba-dam, bam, bam, ba-dam. Bam, ba-dam, bam, bam, ba-dam, bam, bam.
I don't know how, but this is our entire closet. I don't know how all of this fit in that little bitty room. Finally, all empty. I'm so glad. I just gotta take these off. I'm gonna take some measurements so that I can finalize the design of what I want to do. Yeah, that's it. I don't know how I'm gonna take that one out. I guess we'll find out in a minute here. That was pretty easy. Now let's deal with this one over here. What is your problem? It looks like, I don't know if that's adhesive or what they use, but it got into the screw somehow. I don't know, it just doesn't spin when I try to take it out. So I'm gonna fight with it. Nope, how do I take that one out? I think the shelf is gonna break before that screw even moves. I don't know how to take out a screw that doesn't. This was supposed to take 5 minutes max. 5 minutes. Like you saw how the other two just came right out, right? That's how easy this was supposed to be. But no, this one screw had to be difficult. I'm done renting. How to take stripped screw out. Duct tape? It is super dark outside because it is nighttime already, but here we go. Duct tape, duct tape. The video showed to put it on there, so I needed something to grab. Okay, so if that doesn't work, maybe fold it twice. I'm also at a very weird angle. Tony! Probably didn't hear me.
Hello?
I need your help.
Okay, I'm coming.
Okay. Just hold it up straight. Let me try this. Nope. I might have to break the screw to take it out.
Or we could go to Lowe's and buy the screw extractor that's like $5.
No. Alright, so the next video, it was somebody with a drill making a hole and then putting a drill bit through it to like try to get it out. So let's see. I think the hole is bigger. So now I'm doing this screw bit here. I don't know what it's called, but let's try to take it out. No, nothing's working. I think I'm just making it worse. But I don't know what to do. And I am not going to the store to get this thing because then this becomes a project that takes me all night. All right, so I got the thingy specifically to take these out. So let's see how this goes. Okay, I don't know how deep I'm supposed to go. This is the part that takes it out. It works. Well, it was. All right, that's further than I've gotten. Okay, maybe I have to do the other part again. This thing said that I will take it out in less than 10 seconds. I'm probably doing it wrong. Yes. Come on, you're doing so good. Yes. You're doing so good. I got it out. I got it out. It only took 2 hours. I'm done for today. Finally, I get to do the fun stuff. So we have these dressers from IKEA. We have 2 of them in our bedroom, but I think I'm gonna need more dressers. And I like the dressers I have from IKEA because I've had them for years to keep everything in a budget. I'm gonna keep those 2. I would like 2 more. The problem is I have roughly designed the closet, and if I do 2 dressers, I barely have any room for my shoes. But my hope is that when I go to IKEA, I can look at their displays and get some more ideas and maybe change the design there on the spot. Once I finalize my vision, I'll decide whether I want to buy 1 or 2 dressers to put here in the closet. And that is the plan. There isn't an IKEA near where we live, so we took a 2-hour trip to go to one. And of course, before going to get what we actually came for, I had to look around for some inspiration. This room is different.
I like it, but it's also visually confusing.
It's like everything's Sharpie. I love exploring IKEA because every room is uniquely designed and it shows so many creative ways to set up a space no matter the size. That room is really colorful. Walking through their setups always inspires me and it gives me new ideas for my own designs. They have a Puerto Rico shelf.
So where are you from, Tiffany?
I am from Guaynabo, which is not listed on here. It's next to Guaymon. Okay, now I'm mad.
I have bottles of coquito, but there's a problem. There's no coquito in them. Here we have arroz con gandules. We also have very yummy tostones. Something really cool that IKEA has is that they have their own closet systems that can be customized, but I still find them to be limited, so I'd rather go with building my own. Kind of like the idea of splitting the clothes, top and bottom, just so that I could have a shelf in the middle somewhere in the closet. I wasn't gonna do that because I'm not a big fan of having clothes at the bottom, but I think I'm gonna end up doing it because I really need shelf space. What do you think, Tony? Tony? We finally reached the section of the dressers, which is all I came for really. But I had some last minute tweaks to do to the design before I decided if I needed to buy 1 or 2 dressers. After I made my final decision, we made our way towards the exit, but we got a tiny bit distracted. If I knew how many hangers I needed, I would actually get these. Kind of like the wood tone, so maybe I'll get wood hangers. But that's a problem for the future. Our cats will love this. Like, I almost just want to hang it in the wall and just watch them climb. Holy shoot. Push! Oh. Okay. All right. I think we're literally gonna close the store because they close in a few minutes and we are still walking around looking at everything. We've been here for 3 hours.
She's gonna go get the car. She's probably gonna be gone for about 4 hours. She has no idea where she parked. She has no idea. Not a clue.
I'm back from IKEA and I feel so inspired. I don't know what it is, but I love walking through IKEA, seeing all their displays. I also made up my mind on the final design and how I'm gonna do everything. So this is the layout of the closet. This is my side, this is Tony's side. So I took some time to draw it out and think about some options, where to put the drawers. By the way, I usually do very rough drawings at first. They don't look pretty. I just make it pretty so you see what I'm talking about. I didn't take much time on the hangers. They all look different shapes and sizes. Don't judge me, okay? But this is my side. And I decided to put 1 dresser because I needed space for my shoes. So I'm gonna do this box with shelves. I'm just gonna have a lot of shelves where my shoes are gonna go. Maybe a little bit of clothes if I need the space. Top and bottom clothes, like just hanging clothes, top and bottom. Just a little spot there. Tony's side, however, she's gonna get 2 dressers because she has a lot more clothes than I do. And she's gonna get the long side where all the dresses hang and all of that. So her side should be simple-ish. I think. Did I miss anything? I have no drawing of what I'm doing with this wall, and that is because there's a door here. I can't remember if I mentioned it earlier, but if I didn't, this is the water heater door. I'm actually gonna take it out and look in there. Hopefully there's nothing wrong. I'm afraid to look behind the wall sometimes. I just feel like I'm gonna find something wrong and it's just everything's gonna go bad and it's gonna turn into a major project. I don't know why, it's just what gives me anxiety. Anyways, water heater goes behind here, so I can't block this at all. So I'm thinking maybe I turn this door into a mirror, like a long mirror. I think that would be a good idea. So pretty much what I need to do now is go to the store, get materials, and start building. It's a little cold today. Anyways, the closet, the way I'm gonna build it in is I'm gonna do these boxes, like I'm gonna divide it in sections, but to divide it, I'm going to use birch plywood. Now, birch plywood is probably like one of the nicest plywood you can find at the big box store, and they're a little pricey. Man, why is birch so expensive? Woo! But the reason I picked this is because I want the wood grain to show inside of the closet, like inside of the shelves and stuff, and then the outside is going to be painted. I have some inspiration pictures, but this is like mostly in my head, and I think it's gonna look good. I hope so. But yesterday we had to go to the store and get some birch plywood, and it was not easy to find. You know what I forgot?
What?
The list of materials. So I was thinking birch plywood, which is what Lowe's normally carries. But just looking at this stack over here, number one, most of them is not even birch. Second, everything looks rough. Like it's 1, 2, 3, and they all look busted. Just seeing if they have it up there. No, that's not it. I think we're gonna have to go to another store. Tony, we're here. We're here. So I need 4 of these and 4 of the big ones. We need 4 of these. These are really heavy. The 3/4 inch plywood looked pretty rough, so we sorted out through a few of them before I found what I thought would be decent ones. All right, this one looks promising. Let me look underneath. They look terrible on one side, you see this? And the problem is these panels are gonna be visible on both sides. I might have to rethink this. So ugly. I think we gotta go to another Lowe's. Tony went to get a cart, but that was like 5 minutes ago. I don't know where she went to get a cart at. And I'm here guarding the birch plywood because I found it. I found birch plywood that is in perfect condition. What she doesn't know yet is that they don't have 1/4 inch birch plywood. So we have to go to Home Depot. What happened?
There's no H carts in the whole store.
Are you serious?
None of them.
Did you go outside?
Yes, I went outside. I walked the parking lot.
Okay, well, I guess let's use the flat carts that have been sitting in our faces the whole time.
Typical. First, we couldn't find the wood. Then we can't find the cart. We just can't have everything, can we?
I got bad news.
What?
The 1/4 inch plywood that was at Home Depot is the one I need. They don't have it here. So we have to go back. It is in fact down. So I guess I'm gonna have to cut the wood myself.
You have got to be kidding me.
Okay, what else I need? I need 1x2s primed. The IKEA dresser's still here. We haven't taken it out of the car yet. It's been a few days. heavy. I'm gonna be cutting this at 15 inches and 3/4 because that will give me 3 pieces out of each piece of plywood. Since I couldn't get it cut at the store, I'm gonna be using this straight edge jig over here. If you like cutting big sheets of plywood, 10 out of 10 recommend. This thing is pretty good. I often get asked about the tools I use, and I always forget to mention that most of them are linked in the description. So if you're ever curious about a tool that you might want to use for your own projects, chances are you'll find it down there. Cool trick I learned, so when you're cutting a long board, this kind of flops around, especially when I get to the end. So I've learned to just clamp it down, and it helps me keep the board straight even after I cut it. I started to cut the 3/4 inch panels, and I needed to cut a total of 8. My ceilings are 8 feet tall. This is 8 feet tall. And I just have a feeling this isn't gonna fit, so I need to cut the height a little bit, and I didn't think about that until now. So I'm gonna go test it and see, just because I've run into a situation where something doesn't fit before. So before that happens, I'm gonna try and test it out. I'm more worried about how I'm gonna get it through the door. So I have to angle it enough. Wait. Oh crap. The closet connects to the master bathroom, so there's not a lot of room. Oh, it hits the ceiling. Or not. Oh, wow, it fits. Let me check this side, because I know ceilings are not equal. It fits. Okay, that's less for me to cut. I'm glad.
Every day is a wonderful day. Who knows what we'll see? It could be anything, 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 anything. Yeah. Life is our paintbrush, and we are in no rush to use up all the colors of the rainbow. Red, green, orange, yellow, blue, indigo, and violet too. These are all the colors of the rainbow.
Thank you. It's the last one for now, I think.
But only for now.
I got everything cut, but now I gotta prep the walls. So because I want the inside section of the closet to be wood, so that's why I needed the 1/4 inch birch plywood, is because I'm just literally gonna panel this wall and then put the panels, the 3/4 inch against it. So that way it's just gonna look like a wood cabinet inside. But first, I gotta get rid of these strips. I also gotta get rid of the baseboard and the top trim as well. Came out easy. Let's see this one. Nope. That one broke. Ah! It's a little bitty part over there. Look at that big gap between the wall and the ceiling. am done for today. It's a little early, but I'm taking Tony to the movies today because she wants to watch the new Mufasa movie that just came out. And if you haven't noticed from when we were cleaning out the closet, she's a big Lion King fan.
It's okay.
So that is a must-see for her. So I am done. I will continue this tomorrow. And I will clean this mess tomorrow. Ah! All right, look at that water heater. Oh. I put the book in the drain pan. Well, everything looks good in here. No leaks, nothing wrong. I am so like afraid of looking behind walls sometimes. Just afraid that I find something so wrong that it just becomes a bigger project. But all of this looks good, I think. I think I kind of want to remake this door because what bothers me about it is that it's not centered with this wall. Like if I put a mirror on the door or do whatever with this wall, it's gonna look off center and that's just gonna bother me. I might remake this door wider so that it looks center. I'm just gonna put it back in here so we're not staring at the water heater. You wanna go in there, don't you? I'm trying to figure out what to do next. I know that sometimes it might seem like I know what I'm doing and how I'm gonna do this, but I figure it out as I go. Don't get me wrong, I have quite a bit of experience using power tools, cutting everything, planning. I have a general idea. I just take it one step at a time. So for example, I know that the panels have to be screwed into the wall. Therefore, I need to find the studs because it's more secure if I can get it to the studs. But then I know, okay, I need to cover the walls, but if I cover the walls, I'm not gonna be able to find the studs. So I decided to just use blue tape to mark it on the floor. Well, now I want to put the panels on the wall, right? But each wall is gonna take more than one panel. So that means there's gonna be a seam. You see like these seams over here, that's what it's gonna look like. But I don't want that to be visible. Like when you look into the closet, I don't want you to see a seam. Therefore, I have to figure out where the panel is gonna go so that I can cut the 1/4-inch panel that goes against the wall. The seams are covered. That's what I'm kind of thinking now. It's like, okay, what size do I need to cut the panels so the seams are not visible? Hey, are you okay? If you drop that door on top of my head, we're gonna have a problem. I guess I should start measuring. All right, tape measure. Oh, convenient. So, sir, what are you doing? 41 1/4 is where the first seam's gonna be. Sir, you're really... I need the trim. Buddy, I'm glad you're having fun. All right, let me go get the trim. I'm a very visual person, so dry fitting everything and putting it in place so that I can see it is part of my process, and I do that several times throughout the project to make sure my vision is coming through. That almost worked. This reminds me of when I was building the cabinets for the laundry, where I had to do everything outside. If you're wondering why I'm not doing everything inside the workshop, it's because it's really hard to work in there around 4x8 sheets because it's really small. Outside, I can just kind of go around it. And since it's winter, it doesn't rain much, so I'm not too worried about the rain this time. Also, if you're wondering why I'm putting these things underneath, it's because this is thin, so it's very flimsy. So I don't want it to sag when I'm doing a long cut. So this is supposed to keep it more stable, kind of, I hope. Yes. It's gonna work. You know what I need? Glue. You know what I don't have? Glue. Okay, I'm gonna go get a napkin to wipe that down. But it's in place, it's not moving. I'm gonna put a few nails just to make sure that it does stay in place. But that looks gorgeous. That looks gorgeous. Interesting fact, this one has a very crappy back. This one has a very solid back. And they're the same exact dresser, but they were bought at 2 different times. Like, I had mine for a few years before I met Tony, and then I met Tony, we moved in together, so we wanted a matching dresser, so we got this one a few years after, and I guess they make them better now. I'm just curious to see how the new one is and if there's any difference, but this one, solid. Also, it's deeper. No. Oh, you gotta be kidding me. I did not take that into consideration. I made all the measurements based on this one here. Like, look at the difference. It's a lot. What the? And I already cut all the panels. Oh my God. I might have to put the new dresser together and see if it's the same as this one. But it doesn't matter, all the panels are cut. So it's gonna be the, oh my God. Oh, why? I did not see this as a possible problem. But that's DIY for you. You can't always predict the problems. I screwed up. I decided the size of the panels based on my dresser. There's quite a bit of a difference. Now, I did want to make the panels a certain size so that I can get 3 out of each piece of plywood, just because it's more cost efficient. But I also, because I thought this was only 16 inches deep, I wanted to go with like the flush look, where when I put this trim, it was gonna be basically right there. Everything was gonna be flush. My options, I go buy another $300 worth of birch plywood and cut it again and make it flush, but I don't wanna do that. So I think we're gonna change the look over here, and the dressers are just gonna stick out a little bit. It is what it is. I'm gonna have to live with my screw up. I don't think it'll look bad, it's just, it's not what I wanted. You know? The sad thing is, like, the measurements are on the website from IKEA, but I'm like, nah, I have the dresser, I'll just measure the dresser. It'll be fine. Nothing is fine. Now that I'm over my own disappointment, let me show you something I did right. When I was drawing everything, it was very important to me that the drawers did not end up behind the doors. Because if you come into the closet, this is behind the door, then you have to close the door to get to the drawer. And that just would have been a pain, you know, it's not really functional. Now, what I don't know is, I do plan on doing the paneling all the way to the back, but that means the door isn't going to swing all the way back like it does right now. I mean, if it swings completely open, like, is there a problem if it doesn't? Oh, now I don't know. Yeah, it's probably gonna be like around there. That's plenty, right? Seriously. Okay, I think it'll be fine. I can't be changing the design last minute while I'm working. This is gonna stress me out. You know what? Let me cut the next panel. I realized that it takes me a while to finish projects. Honestly, I'm pretty slow at doing these things, and if I were to do this as a job for other people, my pacing probably wouldn't cut it. I would get fired. I'm not fast, and I'm definitely not efficient when it comes to projects like these. Based on my past experiences, I already know this one's going to take me 2 or 3 weeks, maybe even longer, who knows. A pro will probably get this done in a few days, but not me. Earlier, while I was cleaning my closet, I shared that my last job was designing kitchens and bathrooms and selling the cabinetry for it. Designing a room would usually take me a few hours, maybe a day or two if it was a really complex design. But there's such a huge difference between designing and actually building. The building side comes with its own set of challenges that I'm still learning to deal with. And I really hope that one day I get more efficient at this. I'm gonna need more glue. I only got one. I need... No, don't fall. Stop it, stay. Okay, I need napkins. Why am I so unprepared? But the thing is, I rarely do the same project twice. Every single one has new challenges, so I'm constantly running into different problems that I have to figure out as I go. And when I run into a problem, I have to stop and stare at it until I come up with a solution. And yes, this is part of why my projects take so long, because I spend a lot of time just thinking and staring at it. And the thing is, some problems I run into are usually specific to my situation, so it's not like I can just look up a quick fix on YouTube. I don't put any nails here in the middle because I don't want the nails to be visible, or the least amount of visible. They might still be visible here on the edges, but if I can avoid having a bunch of holes, is gonna visually look better, and it's less for me to repair. And since they're glued and there's gonna be a panel against it, this is not going anywhere. This side is so crooked, so I measure at the top and it's 28.5, and here at the bottom it's like 29.75. I'm gonna have to cut the panel without the guide. If I cut it just straight, there's gonna be a gap. The only time you'll catch me working outside at night is during the winter when it's cold. Because when it's hot, all the bugs start flying in my face and I can't handle it. So I've also noticed that a lot of how-to channels don't really show the struggles. Maybe some people are just that skilled, but for me, I decided to show my struggles because I want you to see what it's really like, so that if you ever tackle a project that you're not an expert at, you have a realistic expectation. When I first started my DIY journey, I used to get so frustrated watching videos where everything looked easy. Then when I went to try it myself, it wasn't easy. So it made me feel like I wasn't cut out for this, like I was an idiot for even trying. But the way I learned to push through this is by changing my mindset. Instead of telling myself I can't do this, I started asking myself, how can I do this? It's so pretty. This is pretty much what the inside of the closet is gonna look like. So each part is just gonna have this wood grain, and then outside is going to be painted. Now, if you're wondering if I'm going to stain this or seal it, the answer is I don't know if I'm gonna stain it. Yes, I'm going to seal it. I just haven't decided on a color yet. I do know that I want the wood accent. I'm debating whether to go with a super dark color in here or a light color. Tomorrow, hopefully, I'll get to do the panels and start working on that. You know me, I like to have my little sample board and figure out what color I'm gonna do. So I have been debating whether to stain the wood or not. I'm thinking leaning towards this, which is just the clear coat. It's light, you can see the grain, it gives it enough pop to have contrast against whatever color I pick. I am leaning towards black, which is the colors of the dressers. And if polyacrylic is all I need to do, that will make my job so much easier. I thank you for helping me make up my mind, even though I've just been talking to myself this whole time. So next, I'm gonna cut some strips for support. Basically, I'm gonna do a strip at the top and at the bottom, and that will secure the panels in place where they need to be so they're not wobbly. So the strips, I actually made them out of the same birch plywood. So I basically cut 2x3s out of the 3/4 inch panels. And that's how I ended up with a scratch on my palm. I don't know if you can see it. It's not bad, but it hurt at the moment. So I didn't want to forget the measurement that I'm supposed to cut this, so I wrote it and taped it on myself. I've been trying to go to bed early so I can wake up earlier and get enough rest because I'm not a morning person at all. But last night was not the night to get some rest. We woke up in the middle of the night because the refrigerator was screaming. Like, no, literally, screaming. There was just this awful noise coming out of it, and we had an appliance tech look at it the other day because the ice stopped working, so he fixed it and the ice works, but the fridge won't stop screaming. Anyways, I'm trying my best today, but I'm pretty tired while I'm working on this. Tony!
What do you need me to hold?
Okay, I need you to come in here and push this, like, against the back corner there. Just push it against. Push. So you see that panel? I need it against this.
I don't know if I'm making much of a difference, to be honest with you.
It's good. It's good.
It's good?
Yeah, wait, don't stop. There, thank you so much. I will call you for the next one.
What?
Can you hold the top? However, I need the ladder, so I don't know how you're gonna hold it. I can give you a board or something, or I can bring the other ladder from the shed.
I have an idea.
Not bad. Push. There you go.
The getting down is a little bit wonkier because you don't want to knock it over.
I agree. Figured out if I just staple it first, it'll be easier for me to keep it in place rather than trying to hold it and screw it in. I'm also only doing the screws where I know there's a stud. If not, then I'll just do nails. It should be fine. This is basically to just hold the panels apart.
Okay, hold on. Hold on. Don't do this at home. This is very unsafe what we're currently doing.
What, being on top of the dresser?
With it not secured to anything, there's no drawers, this is a bad idea, don't do this.
It is, but I have faith in this dresser. You know why? Because Tony has like 200 pounds of clothes on her dresser. Every time I take the drawer off, I can barely carry it by myself. Not my drawers are fine. Her drawers?
I just meant that it could tip over.
Oh.
It's not gonna collapse, but
You're not going anywhere. You either go backwards to that wall or you crash into the panel. Either way, you are only going a few inches.
a few inches is enough to bust every bone in your body.
There.
There you go.
Yeah, I just need one more push. Sound like a doctor who's bringing a baby out to the world. Push! Push! One more push.
It's a girl!
Alright, I'm recording in case you're following your...
By all means then. As long as it's on camera.
So you know what I just realized? I think the plywood that I bought is not birch plywood. It's maple plywood. I just checked the listing of the item at Lowe's and it is maple. It looks so much like birch though. Is what I have in the laundry birch or maple? Wow, I had it wrong this whole time. Maybe. I'm sorry. I wonder if the back panels are, what are these? I had to know, so I went to my purchase history and the back panels are birch. The 3/4 inch panels are maple. They look so similar though, like the grain's very similar. Now I can see the maple. I'm going to put this last strip over here and then I'm done for today. It's been 2 weeks since I last been in here. I mean, other than actually getting my clothes. We did put our clothes back in the meantime, but we took some time off. I started this closet before Christmas, but then we needed to take some time off for family time and we had a little mini vacation. Now I'm back and I feel lost. I don't know where I was, what I was gonna do, but I do remember I made a little list. Assemble new dresser. I have it here. So I guess that's what I'm gonna do next is to put the new dresser together. But this is too small, so I'm gonna go to the living room. When something's really heavy and it's bigger than you, it helps if you just walk it. For some reason that works. It doesn't seem as heavy. All right, let's do this. Hi, you gonna help? I'm not a big fan of putting prefab furniture together. I don't know why, I don't really find it fun. But I will make furniture from scratch that is 10 times harder, frustrating, and I'll have fun doing that. But I don't like doing this. Tony does though, but she's editing, so I'm kind of stuck doing this. Otherwise I would have made her do it. I want to take a moment to thank all of our patrons and members for supporting the channel. It really means so much to me. It helps us out while we take on this crazy project. So if you want to see more footage, behind the scenes, mini vlogs, early access to videos, and extended scenes, check out the link in the description to become part of our community. I was supposed to put the top, but I decided that the top's gonna be made out of plywood instead of the one that comes with it, so it's gonna be topless. It wasn't that bad to put together, but it is time consuming. I always forget how long it actually takes to put these together. Third dresser, done. I was also gonna build the tops for here, but I'm gonna wait until I have this side built because I have to build tops for all 3 dressers. I think it would be easier to just build them all at once, but I have to have this built because I need to take measurements because it's not a straightforward cut. I have to go around this trim on both sides. So that's gonna be a little challenging maybe, we'll see. But I love how this is turning out. Like it is turning out beautiful. I never thought I would have a fancy closet, but I guess I got confident enough to build one and there's no stopping me now. To start this side, I'm gonna do the same thing I did on this one, which is put plywood on the walls. So that's gonna be my wall panels. And I have been staring at this for, I think, almost 2 hours. Like I spent all morning just staring at this, moving stuff around. But I got it to where I should be able to fit a full sheet right here. And the only part I have to cut for the back panel is this little part right here. But I need Tony to carry that big sheet. It is so cold that I had to bring the heater out here. You ready? What are you wearing?
A hat.
It's kind of cute. So, the panel we need to move is the one that is all the way in the back.
Why?
Because
Why can't you use the one in the front?
that's the heavy one. Trust me, you don't want that one.
No, I don't want that one.
Ooh, that's a spider. Can I get a broom? Okay. Okay, I'm gonna push it that way. If it comes this way, I will take off running. I just yeeted it somewhere. I just don't want it on the panel that I need right now. Let's hope it doesn't come hunt me again. All right, we're gonna try to get in here somehow. Where's my other glove? How did I lose a glove?
I don't know. You're always one glove short. Where are you going? What you thinking?
Up.
Oh, I see what you're doing.
But this has to be flat.
You're gonna hit the light.
Okay. Did I think this through? No. Should I have thought this through? Probably. Okay, so let's move the dresser.
I need your help to move one board, she said. It'll be quick, she said. There's a big hole there.
Yeah, that would be whoever built the house. There was trim there, so it was actually covered, so it's not really as bad as it looks.
There's a hole in the wall. Just by covering it with trim does not make not a hole.
I mean, there's no really a purpose for it to be complete. Does it look bad? Absolutely, but there's no purpose to it. Once the trim goes in, you'll never see it. But yeah, I was just as surprised when I saw that hole.
You found another hole? Why is there so many holes in my house?
It still kind of doesn't fit, but maybe it's bendy enough. And this thing cracks. It worked. I'm glad I didn't have to cut this panel. It's one less panel to cut. I was so confident that things were going well and really thought the rest of this glue up would go smoothly. That was a lot of problems I ran into in a very short period of time. My first mistake was to change the original plan by deciding to put the panel behind the edge of the 1/4-inch plywood. This threw off all my measurements since it was supposed to sit on top of the panel, but this would show the ugly edge. Then when I tried to straighten the panel, it shifted out of place. Why did that move so much? What the the hell are the nails? Okay, I'm gonna try this again. And that was way too many problems in that small period of time after I put glue, and I get really stressed out when I'm working with glue because glue starts to set and I need to think fast, but it's all good now. I hope. We'll see how I'm gonna deal with this part now because my measurements are gonna be off, but it should be okay. I should be able to make it work. That is still off. How do I mess up the same thing? Double checking, triple checking, fourth checking. So the third mistake I made was that I made the second mistake again. I put the panel at the wrong spot again. Sometimes I really, really believe that I am not cut out for this. That I probably should be doing something else. But I don't give up. And by the way, this whole time that I've been nailing and hammering, doing all this stuff in here, Tony has been sleeping. Our bedroom is next door. She just slept through all this. Like nothing happened. Like she doesn't hear it. I'm gonna build my own closet. It'll be so much cheaper. I really thought this would be the easy part because I already did it, right? So it should be easy because I already did it. I did it on that side. It wasn't that bad. It was actually more cutting involved, but no. I had to change plans midway through the process and then realized that my original plan was fine. See, now you're gonna see that there. I would just put a piece of trim like on the wall that matches the wall. You can see there's trim there also. And it's like, it was never there. You start getting pretty good at covering imperfections when you're not perfect. After I overcomplicated the first panel, I then started to cut the last panel piece. This has become one of my favorite tools. It's a little pricey, but it's so convenient because the leaf blowers are really big. This is like perfect. It's like little, it's a job site blower. Luckily, that panel went smoothly, so I went ahead and put the first divider panel. And these panels were already cut because I had cut all the panels at once when I did the other side. I realized why most people choose to paint instead of just do wood, because you kind of have to be perfect so that you don't see like gaps and things like that. And that's one thing that I've noticed a lot. Either this isn't cut correctly or the wall is just that uneven. One of those. But if this was painted, I could just caulk it, paint over it, nobody would see it. It's actually not really gonna be visible after I put all the clothes and everything on here. It will be noticeable if the closet were to be empty. I guess I have a long way to go before I become a good woodworker. Oh, it's so cold. I know I keep complaining about it, but I'm in Florida, so when it gets cold, I feel it, you know? It doesn't get cold every day, so I don't get used to the cold. So when it gets cold, it really feels cold. I said cold a lot. Anyways, the next two panels are gonna have a bunch of shelves because that's where I plan to put all my shoes. I also want them to be adjustable. So I'm actually gonna use the Craig jig to make the little hole thingies to put the shelf holders. And I've used this before and it's actually pretty straightforward. What are you looking at? Are you gonna bring that ball or what?
Hi, Misty.
Let's go say hi to the neighbor here. Hi. I don't know what her name is, but I would call her Oreo. I hit her in the nose. I didn't mean to. She sometimes catches it on the air though, which is pretty cool. Are you tired? No? It's really important that that first one is like in the exact spot you want it, because then after that, you basically line it up with this little thing over here, lock it in, and then you start drilling holes. I'm not gonna use every hole because otherwise this is gonna have like 1,000 holes and I just want them kind of separated. So I'm just gonna do like every 1, 2, 3, 4, I'm gonna do a hole, and that way they're spaced out a little bit more. I did a few holes and I'm afraid they're too separated, so I changed my mind. I'm just gonna do every other hole basically. Oops. Sorry, Misty knocked you down. She said she's sorry. It seems like every day I end up working till nighttime, but that's because it gets dark by 6 p.m. This project is also starting to feel like the laundry project all over again. The main difference is that I built the laundry while I was still working full-time, so it took me months to complete. Hopefully this only takes me a few weeks, which still seems like a lot, but I'll get it done eventually. The other difference is that the laundry cabinets, I built them all outside and then I installed them. But I was afraid to do that with the closet with everything being so tall and wanting to take it all the way to the ceiling because I ran into things not fitting in the laundry, so I decided to build it in place this time. And I still don't know if one way or another is easier. I guess we'll see how I feel by the end of this project. I'm gonna finish up in here because it's cold outside, it's dark, and I actually have a heater in here, so it feels a little bit better. I've been staring at this for a minute so I can figure out what's the most efficient thing to do. So I think I'm going to install the divider panels first. I'm going to start on this side. Yeah, that's what I'm going to do. So if you remember, on this side, Tony helped me to put the panels up because she needed to push against it for me to put the screws. I decided to nail them in place first so that they don't move, and I'm gonna see if I can install the panel by myself this time. Oh, come on. It keeps getting stuck on the ceiling. This is like just tall enough to fit in here. I got lucky with this part of the ceiling being 96.5 inches. Panels are 96, so everything just fits. I wish the laundry would have been like that. This will be fixed when I put shelves, and it should straighten out pretty good. I forgot the wood glue. You know, I've seen people use wood glue on ketchup bottles. I think I have gotten to that point. I'm gonna buy ketchup bottles with wood glue because this thing will come out. It's so dried up. Oh my goodness. Do I really need this wood glue? I don't think it's not necessary, but now I'm committed. Come on. Man, ouch, I can't even open the bottle. Like, oh, there you go, there you go, there you go. Okay, I guess. This is not how you apply wood glue. Okay. No. Don't go anywhere. You do not go anywhere. You're gonna mess up my screws down here. See how that wants to just like leaning that way. I just don't want it to lean too far because then it'll come off the screws down here. So I ran into a little problem. There's a gap right here, but I'm not really worried about how the gap looks because I'm gonna cover it with trim. However, the gap is big enough for the pocket screws to not catch from the other side. So when I did the pocket screws, they didn't attach to this board at all. So I had to come and nail it, and I didn't hit record when I was doing it, but I nailed it on this side just so I can hold it in place until I figure out how to actually support it properly. Very good, very good. Right about now, kind of wishing that I was gonna paint it because of all the gaps. They're bothering me. I'm dealing with the imperfections of the wall not being even and some of my own mistakes, and I understand why most people choose to paint their built-in closets because you can caulk all the gaps, which works like magic, and then paint over it. But since I'm going with a wood grain look inside, I don't think caulking is possible, so I'm having to live with some of my own imperfections. I I have a lot of respect for the professionals that do this for a living because this is not easy. I usually show how expensive it is to hire someone to do this, but there's a reason it costs that much. I'm sorry if you can't see anything. It's getting really hard to record in here from a good angle. So I just got done cutting a whole bunch of pieces to frame this bottom parts over here, because I'm gonna put a piece of plywood and that's just gonna be the bottom of these two sections. And I'm just gonna use 1/4 inch plywood because they're pretty well supported. I also cut the trim for it, and if you notice, that's not plywood. It doesn't have the edge of the plywood because I'm going to paint this, so I didn't want the edge of the plywood there. I still gotta attach it. I just dry fitted everything. And no, I didn't cut it correctly the first time. It took multiple cuts. But that's it for tonight. Tomorrow I'll cut the plywood for the bottom here, and I'm gonna cut the shelves for the shoes. So I'm pretty excited for that. I just got done cutting the plywood that goes here, but there's a little gap that bothers me. Yeah, it bothers me. So I'm gonna fix it. I cut a little shim that is about the thickness of that gap. I'm gonna put it here. I'm gonna draw a line, continue to draw the line, more line to the end. So you see how that line kind of ends here? So I'm gonna sand this down to the line, and ideally it should fit perfectly against the wall. Now this works because I cut this a little long on this side. I'm gonna do the back first, and then I'm gonna cut the front 2 sides. And it also works because the sides are pretty much perfect. If the sides were also wonky, I would have had to build a template. Okay, let's go sanding. Look at that. Perfection. It's mostly good, but there's a little gap here. That's acceptable. Woo. Look how nicely that fits. It was a pain in the butt, just like the other one, but I figured you didn't have to watch me go through all of it again. But it's done. It's not 100% perfect, but it's pretty good. Now I can move on. I need to make some shelves now. These should be easy cuts because technically they should all be the same size. So I did my little drawing. This is a 4x8 sheet, and I basically drew what I think is the most efficient way to cut this with minimal waste and get most of the shelves that I need. I will definitely need to go back to the store and get more wood, and hopefully I can find it easier this time. At least I know which stores actually have it. So, but anyways, I'm gonna go and cut this. Okay. I feel like you picked the most awkward way to put this down. Good news. This is the last plywood sheet that I have. Yay! Bad news. I need another one just as heavy, so we have to go back. So the first cuts I'm gonna do are the really long ones, and then after I do that, I can cut each individual piece. So I'm about to do these 31 and 7/8 cuts, but that is too big for me to run through the table saw. And also this panel is just way too long for me to do that anyways. And it is also too big for the jig that I was just using because it only goes up to 24 inches. So then I have to use this clamp thingy, but I have to set it manually. And it's such a pain to like set it accurately because I have to do it by hand. I have to get it I have to get a straight line, and there's still a pretty good chance that I mess it up. So that's why I like jigs, and I like the table saw because they're accurate. This, it's good, it works. Nope. Got this one right. I adjusted my cut list a little bit so that I can cut the rest of this on a table saw because it was such a pain to do it by hand. Misty, hi. You wanna play? Say hi, Misty. Good girl. Again. Misty, go get it. It's over there. You see it? Why she stopped?
Hi, Misty. Hi, Misty. Oh, I missed you. Yes, I missed you. You want me to throw it? You want me to throw it?
Go get your toy. Go get it. Go. I probably should have done this from the beginning, just cut it in smaller pieces and then run it through the table saw. I am done out here, baby. You're gonna have to go home. Come on, last one. Last one. Go get it. Go. Go get the ball. You can't see it? I just got done drilling 1,000,000 pocket screws. So these are going to be the fixed shelves that are gonna go at the top mostly. And then I cut a bunch of shelves for the shoe rack where I want all of my shoes to go. So I did them all at once, or most of them at least. I still gotta buy another plywood sheet to finish cutting, but I got a lot of it cut. And look, 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 look. I'm so excited. Look at look. Oh. Oh, look at that. Nice. Look at it. I can fit my shoes. Oops. Sorry, I couldn't resist. I need to try this. So I can fit 2 pairs, and then it'll probably fit another pair behind it, or maybe another 2 pairs if I stack them. But, oh, I love this. I'm so excited. I don't know why, like this is my favorite part. I still have to adjust it, so you see this like big gaps still, but that's because I have to do the fixed shelves that are gonna make this square. This is a little warp. There's gonna be one fixed shelf here, somewhere in here, also here, just to make sure that everything's square. All right, let me put my shoes back on. I know that I need to make more shelves, but just to make myself feel better, I'm gonna cross this out, and the rest of the shelves will be my future problem. Look at what I just received. So I've been thinking a lot about this wall. I have never liked wallpaper until recently. I have seen so many ways to apply wallpaper that I have convinced myself to try wallpaper. And I wanted it to be loud because otherwise I feel like the closet is gonna look too plain. I've never done wallpaper before. I've removed plenty of it. I think that's why I hate it. But I figured that my first try at wallpaper will be in a small wall inside the closet. So if I end up absolutely hating it, not that big of a deal. But I don't think I will because I'm really excited about it. Okay, now let's talk about real work. I gotta put the shelves up there. Like a shelf that covers the ceiling, and then there's gonna be an actual shelf that is fixed. So I gotta figure out how to put that up there. And I have to do the same thing on this side. My plan is to put scrap wood here as a spacer. So I can put one of the shelves, but then it has something to attach to. Also, a quick reminder, when you do nails, make sure they are not too long where they go through the other side if you don't want them to be visible. Don't ask me how I know. So I put another piece of scrap wood here, just slightly lower of the plywood. And my goal is to slide in the shelf. This is just gonna hold it in place temporarily while I secure the shelf with pocket screws. But let's see if that's gonna work. I'm gonna need a mallet. I'll be back. The question is, number one, I need a taller ladder. Number two, I made this so those pocket screws are in here. But I don't think my hand's gonna fit in there to put in those pocket screws. Yikes. So I have a problem. This doesn't fit. I can maybe get to the first pocket screw. I can't even see what I'm doing, so if I go any higher. So I don't think I thought this through. I just didn't see it as a problem until now. Sometimes you just run into problems as you're working on things because, I don't know, I didn't think of this. The easiest option is to flip this over and just do the pocket screws at the bottom, but then they're going to be visible and that's just gonna look ugly. So that is the other option. So Tony gave me the greatest idea. She said, why don't you use one of those thingies that extends the bit basically, and you can just drill at an angle. Oh, come on. I did forget to order those ketchup bottles. I want to add wood glue for extra strength and just because it'll make me feel better. I don't know that it's necessary, but it can't hurt. The problem with working with glue is that it stresses me out because now I got timeline. I did something right. I don't know that I can go out. Yeah, there's a ceiling there. I can't see what I'm doing. Nope, I need a second hand. I gotta call Tony. I think I got it for the most part.
Oh, you decided to use my idea.
Yes. I think it's working.
You can't see her face, but she's going like this.
This is a very awkward position. Like I am so uncomfortable. My neck is like up like this against the ceiling.
Again, the face update.
There it is. It's going. Ow.
Are you okay? What happened?
I think so. Okay. Sorry, I had to concentrate on not falling off the ladder.
Did you screw yourself?
Oh shit, I broke this.
You broke your thingy?
This thing's dangerous. Okay, it's dangerous. So I kept screwing it, and then I guess it just decided to turn against me. I don't know how to explain it, but I need a new one. This was working. I need to do the other side. Crap, am I gonna have to go to the store and get one? Yeah, I don't think there's any fixing this. It just hurt because my hand, oh yeah, it scratched me. My hand was in there, so when I like press it, it started going like with my hand in there, and it's a very like small place. But I'm also like on a ladder, like with barely any support because both of my hands are off the ladder. Anyways, it was this very split-second decision of like, I will deal with whatever the hell is happening to my hand up here, but I have to concentrate on not falling off the ladder. All this happened in like 1 second. I definitely need that tool, so I'm gonna go get it. I just came back from the store. It was so expensive though. They didn't really have a cheap one. I think the other one I had was kind of cheap. But this thing is legit, look. I don't think it's gonna break. This thing is so legit that it even broke the scissors when I tried to open it. Why are you not working? Okay, do I need a shorter bit? Ah! I don't think this was the best idea. Sorry, Tony. In theory, it sounded like a good idea. And it worked in that side until the thing broke. But now, the screws aren't even catching, and I am losing my patience. I think I'm gonna go to plan B. $40 later. If you're wondering why I don't just nail it in, is because I only have finishing nails, and I don't think those are strong enough to hold this. This bottom part here is going to be completely visible, so I didn't want any holes. But my plan B requires holes. That's why I didn't want to do that. I'm basically just gonna do a screw here, one in the back, but I have this super tiny little screws. You see how tiny that is? It's actually not too bad. It doesn't bother me. Why didn't I do this in the first place? I would have saved so much headache. I used it for something, so my money wasn't completely wasted. Ooh. Sorry. You remember that gap at the bottom that I was struggling with? There's a little gap that bothers me. Yeah, it bothers me. I have the same problem here, which is causing it to stick out here, but this cannot stick out because then it's gonna mess up my trim. So as much as I'm willing to ignore the gap up here because it won't be visible, I have to fix it because it's gonna mess up my trim. Okay. This happens to me sometimes where I don't really get anything done. I just got that shelf done and the other one has to be cut, but I'm kind of frustrated, so I'm going to stop for the day. When I get frustrated, I start making more mistakes. So I'm just gonna stop, take the rest of the day off, and then next time, the next day, I at least know what to do, what the problems are, I already know how I'm going to install it, so all the figuring out part is done. So I'll see you whenever I work on this again. I'm back at it again. Hopefully I have more patience today. But I did take an evening to do the bracing on the sides on most of these. Kind of ran out of room by the time I got to that corner, but I just wanted to get like a little bit ahead. I went ahead and sanded this, so hopefully it fits now. Ooh, no. Crap. Sticking out even more than what it was before. I think I need to flip it. I do a really good job at getting this in there tightly. Now I can't even take it out. Come on. How did I sand the wrong end? I don't understand. Time to give up for today. Just kidding. I needed to shave off a little bit, but it was too thick to do with the sander, so I cut it on the table saw. It fits. I'm sorry. So I can't clamp the right side because it's against the wall, so I'm struggling. Also, I might drop this on you, I apologize. Ooh, he fits. By the way, if you see me with a sweater and all of a sudden without a sweater, just a shirt, it's just that I'm having to go back and forth outside and here, and it's really hot in here, and it's really cold outside. If you're wondering why these pieces don't go all the way back or not the same exact size, it's because I use scrap wood and all the scrap wood I have was kind of short. I would have just made the whole thing the size that it needed to be, but I was so happy to use all the scrap wood I had. This is scrap wood from the bed frame and the headboard that I was building, so I had a bunch of it left that were a lot of little pieces, and I was gonna throw them on the burn pile if I didn't use them anytime soon, so I'm kind of glad that I'm getting to use scrap wood. After all the struggling, I'm wondering if there's an easier way to build this. I feel like maybe if I would have framed the top and the bottom first and then attached the panels, it would have been easier. Or maybe I should have built the boxes first and then try to fit them in the closet. But I don't know. If you've ever done a build like this, what do you think would have been easier? You know what I keep forgetting to do? Glue. I did it on the first shelf, and then I started today because I started on a different day and just completely forgot about it. And these things are such a pain to put up that I am not gonna take them off and add glue. It should be fine. There's no weight going on these. Like, this is the ceiling of the closet cabinet, and it's also gonna have trim on top of it, which means it's gonna be nailed to it. So it's gonna be secure from like different spots. It will be fine, but I feel like I'm being so inconsistent. I'm sorry if I'm a bad example. Okay, next. Couldn't drill the pocket holes where the sticker was. Now that I peel this off. BRB. I literally had to sand the sticker off. It wouldn't come off. Talking about sanding, I normally sand everything before installing it, but I forgot. I might have to do some spot sanding later, but when I bought the wood, it said it was pre-sanded, so it shouldn't be that big of a deal. So I finished putting that fixed shelf up there, which is basically the ceiling of the cabinets, except for the very last corner because I have to cut it out of another 4x8 sheet, which, by the way, Tony and I went to the store at some point and got the sheet of plywood I needed. So now I'm going to install whatever shelves I have pre-cut, but the rest of the shelves that I need to do are going to be the top storage shelves that nobody can reach, but I don't have all of them cut yet because I just got the piece of plywood, but I'm just gonna work on everything I have pre-cut for now. Since I forgot to do the glue on most of the shelves, I decided to give up on the glue altogether and put all of my truss in pocket screws. So I got the first fixed shelf in. This also like makes this solid. So I don't know if you remember, this was kind of wobbly and some of the boards were kind of warped, but now like everything's all like screwed in together. It makes this really solid. There's no wobble. All right, next. I'll do the same on this side at the same exact height. I have to make sure that these are exactly aligned, just because when I put a trim in front of it, I need it to be like all the same piece. If you didn't watch the Q&A that I did, one of the questions was what tool you can't work without. So woodworking ruler. That's just temporary. It's because I have no way of clamping a piece here. Oops. There you go. Alright, see? It's temporary. Minimal damage. Just a couple nails. It's dark, it's cold, and it's raining, and I need to cut the last piece because it's very uneven. The top's like 17 and a half and the bottom is like 18 and an eighth. So I gotta cut it somewhere in between so that I can fit the last piece that I have pre-cut. I have to recut it again, basically. I also have to redo the pocket holes because cutting them off, I think kind of messes them up, so I don't want to compromise them. So I'm just gonna drill more holes in between. See the difference? As I cut them off, these are lower. So this one, I decided to do the pocket screws at the top because nobody's this tall to be able to see them, but when you look from the bottom and you look up, you don't want to see them here. So I'm still trying to make sure I get that clean look, so I'm doing the pocket screws at the top. I gotta do that one, but I ran out of screws. So that'll be a tomorrow problem. It's actually taking shape. I love it. So happy. I did 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 fixed shelves. I know it doesn't look like I made a lot of progress, but these are tedious because they have to be level, they have to be just right. I probably would have done more, but I have to cut a whole sheet of plywood and it's raining and it's dark, so. But I think it's about moving forward. If I can do a little bit every day that I'm working here, even if I don't get a lot done, if I can just move this project forward, eventually it will get done. And last time, I know I had like a mental breakdown over that one shelf, you know, and I didn't have a good start at the beginning, but now that I move forward and I have all of this done and I can see it, I am excited again. I can't wait to see all of this done. It's been a week since I've been here and I already forgot what I was doing. I think the shelves. Yes, I gotta finish putting the shelves. Oh, now I remember. So I had to go to the store to get more wood. I already had wood that I went to the store to get and then realized after I did all the measurements that I needed more wood. So I went to the store again. This time they had the saw working, so they cut it for me, which was nice. So then I spent an evening doing a bunch of cuts so that I can kind of get a little bit ahead. It is 39 degrees. 39 degrees. But then I was off for an entire week because my dad was here. And I showed him the closet where it was so far and he was so impressed.
Made these?
Yeah. All of that has been cut from 4x8 sheets of plywood.
Very nice. Wow.
But now, I gotta finish putting up these shelves. Great. Now I gotta fix that. I wonder how long that's been like that. So I realized that I have more cutting to do because now I remember, it was so cold when I was cutting this that I didn't finish. I just cut it down enough to where I can use the table saw, but I just didn't want to continue that night, so I'm gonna finish cutting it down to size.
Misty! Good girl, Misty. You're such a good girl. You're such a good girl. You're such a good girl. Yes, you are.
Cutting all this wood and trying to be precise so everything looks good takes a lot of time. Some of the cuts were too big for the table saw, so I had to do them manually with a circular saw, which is pretty tedious when you're trying to get a straight line. This kind of work is definitely a test of your patience. I actually love this thing. When you have like a million pocket holes to make, this thing is amazing. They're like not even at all, but nobody's gonna see that. This is gonna work. So I'm gonna hang the rod just tall enough for me to reach because I can barely reach. This is gonna kind of be on, you know, like shirts and stuff are gonna be a little bit on the top here, but it is what it is. I could have done it higher, but then I can't reach, so it's fine. I'm gonna have to shave it just a bit. Ooh, that's perfect. That perfect on the first try. Okay, this is very tricky. Nope. This is hard to do on a ladder when both of my hands are holding heavy things. Just trying to see if trim's gonna cover my imperfections.
I like how this closet kind of looks like a tool trophy cabinet at the moment.
My personal selection of tools? Huh? Like? Tony! What the heck?
Sorry, I leaned against the...
Done. I never thought I was gonna be done with these shelves. I feel like I have been doing this forever, and it just felt like a never-ending task. I think we need to go to the store before I can start the next part.
Getting the groceries while Tiffany does whatever Tiffany is doing. Water. Anti-farty milk. More anti-farty milk. Cheese. Heart attack. Oh, snackies. More. Elixir of life. Party-sized. Pickles. Bread. More bread. Many sandwiches. Pickle. Holy guacamole. Okay, we almost done. One more very important thing. Wipes. How do we go find Tiffany?
So I have this crazy cut to do for the top that's gonna go on top of the dressers. And I need to find something to make a template with. And I didn't want to do it out of like wood or MDF because it's probably gonna be pricey. So I wanted to find something a little bit cheaper. That's gonna work. Right, now to find Tony. She's not by the cat stuff. She's not in the candy aisle. She's not by the video games. I think I know where she is. Tony, you ready? I found the cutest thing at Lowe's. Isn't it so cute? I don't know what I'm gonna use it for yet, but I had to get it. Okay, about this. Last night I cut some spacers that are gonna go in between the panels and the dressers because I'm getting ready to secure the dressers in place. But first, I gotta take the tops off because I'm gonna build new tops for them. I like how this has become my tool storage. What is holding it? Oh, nails in the back. It's like a million nails. There. So this is generation 1 of IKEA. Later I'm gonna show you the differences between all of them. But this is the only IKEA dresser I have that have nails in the back. This one's heavy. They made that one made out of crap because it is flimsy, but they got better over time. This one's heavier. And then the 3rd generation of IKEA is also heavier, but they cheaped out on the hardware. Come on, come on, there you go. Oh, IKEA, IKEA. You just love to change everything by slightly that much. One dresser is taller than the other. And they're both gonna have the same countertop. It's gonna be one-piece countertop. Yeah, shim should be fine. It's not but that much. So I'm gonna rant about the differences of the IKEA dressers. If you missed it on the last video, I bought all of these years apart. Bought this one first, years later. We got this one for Tony, and then I just bought this one. They're the same exact model, but they are different. It's in sizes. So this dresser, the first one, I'm gonna call it IKEA Generation 1, is like about 16 inches deep. The new one is 17, I think with the countertop it was like 18 inches deep. This one, same depth, no problem there. The second difference, the drawer slides are 15.5 inches deep. Generation 2, slightly less than 15.5 inches. Generation 3, 12 inches. When I open the drawers, they barely come out, like only half of the drawer comes out. And I remember noticing that, I'm like, what? And now I just realized that one's taller than the other. But I'm trying to use what I have. Rent over. Now I'm gonna work with what I have. Okay, what was I doing? Oh, shimming. Of course, this one has the platform at the bottom. I've been fighting with this dresser to shim it and then realized that it has little feet, but I can't shim it because this thing is in the way, so I can't see what I'm doing. I need to take this bottom part out that I don't think I'm gonna be able to take off without having to take the whole dresser apart. As I was taking the dresser apart, Tony was worried that taking the bottom support out would make the dresser flimsy and it could fall apart. This is gonna be so boxed in that it ain't going anywhere. Even if it wanted to fall apart, it doesn't have any room to. So I just got done putting spacers on each side. That's basically how I'm gonna secure the dresser, and also just to make sure that it's like wall to wall. They are different width. Don't ask me how that happened. I'm just making it work. Yes. That's when things start getting tight in here. So everything is just right. Yep. Let's go make a countertop. I don't know if you remember, but the countertop was going to be a weird cut. I'm gonna make it more complicated than that. So I wanted the flush look on the dressers, but I realized that they are deeper than my original one, so they stick out. And many of you gave me a lot of ideas of how to fix that. You almost convinced me to cut the dressers, until one of you was nice enough to send me a drawing of what to do to make the bottom flush. Basically, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna add a filler here. The bottom over here is gonna be flush with the dressers. And the top part, it's just gonna be the regular depth. But there's gonna be one countertop, the same countertop on both of these. But the reason it's complicated is because this panel is already in place. So I have to cut the countertop around this panel. Or I can cut this panel, but I don't trust myself to do a straight cut. I suffer over deciding how I was going to make the trim and the dressers work all together. And at some point, I got on a FaceTime call with my friend Kim, who also does DIY projects and has incredible design skills, and she suggested to make a one-piece countertop to go over both dressers, but with the trim running between the dressers, that would have not worked. But thanks to Jesse and RJ, who sent me the drawing to make the bottom flush, the one-piece countertop will work and I'll get the look that I'm going for. I just got done cutting a template out of poster board. I hope this works because I don't want to mess up this cut. But not only that, my stress that lasted for days because I didn't know how I was gonna finish this disappeared within a few minutes by just asking for help. I think that's gonna work. I can see why I've seen most people use like MDF for template instead of something so flimsy. This bends, so I actually can't tell if it fits perfectly or not. So I'm hoping that it's fine. So worst case, if it doesn't fit, what I have to do is actually cut it a little bit more. So that shouldn't be that big of a deal. So yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and try it. Anyways, I guess what I was trying to say is that it's okay to put your pride aside and ask for help. I have the mentality sometimes that I can do everything myself, even when I'm stuck, but there's a lot of people out there with a wealth of knowledge that genuinely want to help. I'm holding it down with tape because I'm gonna cut with the template on top, but I don't want it to move around when I'm cutting. I'm also like scared of tear outs because I'm cutting cross grain on these lines over here. So I think I'm gonna tape those underneath. And that should avoid tear out. Yeah, I think I'm gonna do that. So a quick shout out to Kim, who also has a YouTube channel and will be releasing some pretty cool DIY projects. And a shout out to Jesse and RJ, who reached out and offered to help. Jesse's a talented artist who brings doodles to life, and you should check out her stuff. And to everyone in the comments who took the time to type your ideas and solutions, not just on this video, but in general, a lot of you take the time to give me a lot of good ideas and solutions to problems that come up in these projects, and I really appreciate it. Right now, I'm cutting the middle part of the countertop, and I was so nervous to mess up this cut because if I did, that meant that I had to get another piece of plywood, which is close to $90, and I didn't have any other scraps big enough to make this cut again, so I only had one chance to get it right. I've had frustrating moments with this project, and I usually do with every project, but that's part of the process. Frustration is a sign that you're pushing boundaries and challenging yourself, but growth happens when you keep going, even when it's hard. And if you're wondering if I ever feel like quitting, the answer is yes. I feel like quitting a lot. And I don't believe that all quitting is bad, because if you tell me that you quit smoking, I'm not gonna say, oh, you're a failure at smoking. How could you? No, that depends on the situation. But in my situation, building this closet, Quitting means failure for me because I would have to stare at a half-done closet all the time, reminding me of how I started something and never finished it. The fulfillment that I get from every project I finish and the learning from each project makes this whole journey worth it. Just remember that the only way to truly fail is to give up, unless you're giving up smoking. Anyways, keep going, stay consistent, trust the process, and remember why you started. I think this is like the most complicated cut I've ever had to do. It wasn't really that bad. Actually, let me not say that until I fit this, because if it doesn't fit, then it would be bad. I actually had to clamp the middle to avoid this cracking in half while I'm carrying it, because I would just cry. Perfectly. Oh, I'm so happy. I'm so happy this worked. That was not bad at all. I think doing the shelves was more difficult than doing this weird cut. I think maybe because I really took my time with it and I did the template, I think that helped a lot. But I'm so happy this worked out on the first try. I have one more tedious task to do here, which is all of the trim. Some of them are gonna be edge banded, like the shelves for the shoes is gonna be edge banded. This top is gonna be edge banded to match the wood, but the rest is going to have this trim and it's going to be painted. Oh, I changed my mind on the wallpaper. I started second guessing my color choices and I found this one that I like much better. I love the colors on these. I think it'll go so much better than the other one. I think the other one had too much pink. I like it, but I like this one a lot better. I'm still not ready for the wallpaper, but I keep getting excited about it because it's what I want to do. So before I can start spraying clear coating here, I actually have to finish building. But there's only a couple things, just 2 things. I'm almost done, promise. So I have to build a base here, just like I did on the other side. And I have to build a countertop for this dresser. And I think that's all I need to do before I can... After getting my measurements, I went straight outside to make the cuts. Oh yeah, I gotta cut this wood. Sorry, we'll play later. Okay. What a mess. What happened in here? I took some of the plywood pieces I have left over from this project and I cut it to size to make the support for the base. I then attached the front and back piece using pocket screws because the 1/4-inch plywood I'm using for the top is too thin. It needed extra support, so I took more measurements to cut the support pieces for the middle. So this little base I'm building is not even. Every single one that I had to cut is like slightly bigger than the other. Now I gotta screw them in. The strips that go on the edges, I couldn't use pocket screws because otherwise they would run into the other pocket screws. I didn't have enough of the 1/4-inch plywood that I bought for this closet, but I have this one. Holy crap, that's a big spider, but it's dead. It doesn't really match. Yeah, this is not gonna work. It's way too different. And it has like a million nail holes because this is part of what I use for the bed headboard. So I think I'm just gonna go to the store. They have smaller sheets, I hope. They have like 2x4s and that would work. So I'm gonna get a new piece of plywood, but that's later because I have to go to the store later. So I'm gonna make the countertop for the dresser now. You know, every YouTube video I've watched this month has the scenery shots of the snow, the winter, and it looks so pretty. But I don't have any snow to show you. I actually have to mow my grass. I needed to add spacers before doing the countertop. The spacers help secure the dresser in place and it gives me something to attach it to. Do you remember the complicated cut for this countertop? For this countertop. Not as complicated, but I still have to do the little 2 lips on the side. So, wish me luck.
Misty! Hi, Misty. You want me to throw the ball? Is that what you want?
I didn't drop it on you this time. It fits. I'm getting good at this. I have to cut the dresser back. I forgot to cut the depth of it. Oh, but that's no problem. I can run that through the table saw. As far as fitting, I think it's pretty good. There you go, that's better. Still fits. So we're good. These are gonna be rounded a little bit, so you know, I don't like, that will cut my necklace. You see how short I am? Like, I gotta cut.
Oh my god, Tiffany, that is the cutest saw I've ever seen in my entire life. It's like a baby.
I know, right? Don't make me talk like that ever again. So I have this little mini saw. It's super cute. I got it, you can get blades for it to cut metal, but it has a blade that you can cut anything else. This will be anything else. This part right here is like higher than the dresser, so it's hitting the countertop. So I need to cut it off a little bit. I didn't want to bring the whole circular saw of the jigsaw here, so I'm gonna try it with this. There's not an easy way to like see what you're doing unless you take the guard off. So that's the downside of the saw. You can't really see what you're cutting. But I'm not gonna take the guard off because there's a reason it's there. I should have brought the mask. I have been wearing a mask, I just forgot, okay? I'm gonna get roasted in the comments. Now we're talking. Yeah. We're good. What now? This is very dangerous. I have a white shirt and I'm painting something black. And this is not a shirt I would like to ruin with paint. I have ruined a lot of clothes with paint. What do you think, Tony?
It's a bold choice.
What I'm going for is what matches best with the dresser. They probably all look the same, I know. So this one's a color match, like they actually color match the color of the dresser. I took a handle and it looks pretty good. The second closest is tricorn black. This is the dresser color, the custom match. So it's slightly lighter. But I think I'm gonna go with a color match. I have a problem, but it might not be a problem, but in my mind it's a problem, and I think it's just anxiety. So they gave me a sample in the wrong brand. Now I have decided that I want to pick the color match of the dresser. That is the closest match. I was hoping I could just pick one of those because then it's easy. I'm like, this is the color. I can get it in any brand that I want, doesn't matter. But now I'm afraid that when I go to Lowe's and I tell them that I want this custom color that they mix on a Vaspar, but I need it on a Sherwin-Williams paint, I'm afraid that one, either it can't be done and they have to custom match it again and then it doesn't match. But I might be just overthinking this. It might just all be fine. Hi, this is future Tiffany. It was not fine. Now we gotta go to the store to get paint.
And plywood.
What do we need plywood for?
You said you need.
Oh, yes, and plywood. So I went to Lowe's, and all of my anxieties about this paint became true. So I walked to the paint desk and, I told the guy, hey, I just want this paint sample mix, but in a gallon. And the first question I asked, is it okay that this is a Vaspar sample mixed into a Sherwin-Williams? Would that make a difference in the color, or is it easier to just get a Vaspar paint? He's like, oh no, we can, mix it, no problem. Okay, I go walk away for a few minutes, get everything I need to get, come back. It's like, hey ma'am, I have a problem. This is not going into the gallon, like it's not mixing. I'm like, okay, well, I have the handle that they took the sample from, so you can just do the sample, do the color matching again. He's like, oh, that's perfect. So he was happy, I was happy, but worried, because what if the color match doesn't come out, again. But whatever, I'll just, let him do his thing. Went away, picked up a couple more things, almost had a heart attack when I picked up the clear coat because it was very expensive, but I need it. And then come back, and he's just shaking his head. He's like, I can't mix this. I'm like, what's going on now? He's like, the color is not mixing. And I can tell he tried. He had like 2 gallons he had messed up already. One of them was gray. One of them came out greenish. Like, it was definitely the wrong color. And I'm just like, oh, he's like, I'm sorry. I don't know what to do. Like, it's like, if the computer doesn't mix it, it's not like I can mix it manually. That was really the perfect color. So guess where I'm at? So I just got done shopping at Lowe's again, and guess what? They got me a perfect match. I'm so happy I got the right paint this time. I was so happy. And I told him everything that happened at the store. He's like, yeah, sometimes the computers give us problems. Yesterday it was this computer. This computer was giving issues. So it was worth the trip. I got the color I wanted, and I am no longer stressed. Okay, now we're gonna have dinner. Before I started on what I had planned for the day, I needed to cut the 1/4-inch panel to size and finish the base. Well, I usually use painter's tape when cutting cross grain. It's pretty bad, but it's the only piece I have this size. And I'm not gonna buy another one, so I'll touch it up. I get the suggestion to mix sawdust with wood glue to fill holes all the time, but there's a reason I never do it and I want to show you. I filled up some of the holes, but the wood glue in the sawdust always dries darker than the wood, leaving the nail holes just as visible as the nail hole being there in the first place. Maybe I'm mixing the wrong ratio, I don't know, but I've always had this issue when I do it. So I went and got wood filler, and it's not even the one that I like to use. This is a little orangey, but I think it's gonna match better than the wood glue and the sawdust. And then the journey of a million nail holes began. After filling all the nail holes, I had to spot sand everything. I didn't want to use the sander in here to avoid a mess. I gotta wipe everything down because, you know, obviously it's like a little dusty in here, and after that I get to tape up everything because I'm gonna spray clear coat to seal all of the wood. I keep asking myself if building these outside, like in boxes, would have been easier and to paint them outside and then bring them here. I'm leaning towards I think that would have been faster. I know it would have taken more material, like more wood. I think it would almost double the material to build each box individually and then put them together. I'm not a big fan of like spraying inside because of the prep, but it's a really small room, so I think this will go quickly. We'll see. I noticed this a while back, but for some reason, it finally shocked me. The prices of paint are ridiculously high. I can't believe that I spent over $200 between paint, primer, the clear coat, and miscellaneous stuff that I needed to prepare for paint. The sad part is that I don't even need that much paint, but the options are a quart or a gallon, and a quart isn't going to be enough, but a gallon is a lot, and I wish they had a size in between. I don't normally buy cheap paint, especially when I'm doing such a dark color, because otherwise I'll be stuck doing coat after coat after coat to get it to cover correctly, so I'd rather pay a little bit more and be done in 2 coats. But even if I did get the cheap paint, it's still quite a lot. So I'm sealing all the wood with polyacrylic max, which is water-based, and I specifically chose water-based because of the smell. It doesn't smell as strong as the oil-based, which I always use polyurethane, but it is so strong that I just didn't want that smelling here. But I did use it before on the bed frame that I built, and I really liked it. It's 1 coat, although I have my doubts that this will work in 1 coat. I think it's gonna take 2. I'm also gonna spray it, and there's no instructions of how to spray it, so I don't think it's meant to be sprayed, so I don't know, I'm experimenting here. I'm hoping this will come out okay. Hi, this is future Tiffany. Oh, you sweet summer child. You have no idea everything that's about to go wrong. This suit is really hot. Like, I am already hot. I just put it on. Oh, I want to show you what you look like. Look at you. I bought a little piece of glass to put over it and very creatively taped it. And you have a little bit of plastic around. Look at you. You're adorable. There's like no easy way to stand this up. Yeah, I got as much of me as I got on the sprayer.
Do the test piece first.
The sprayer is not the right sprayer to use, and I knew this and I still went forward with it. I've used this for many projects and have very mixed results, frustrating results. It doesn't spray even. I think it's meant for very, very thin paint, and I just noticed that it was just spraying very inconsistently, and I did not want to fight with it. I have a big sprayer, like a real paint sprayer that you can paint a whole house with, but I didn't want to use that one either because it's too big for that little of a spot. Like I would have to get like a bucket of water, like prime it, and then like the hose of that sprayer is so long that it would just waste a lot of the clear coat. I just didn't want to use that one either. So I decided to go to Lowe's and get the right sprayer. Since I'm sure this is not the last project I will need a sprayer on, it will be a good investment. But I'm just annoyed because I should have thought of this before. And anyways, I'm just annoyed, okay? This is interesting. They have one that connects to a drill, but I don't know, I'm not sure about that. And then they have this one, which I think is the one I want. And they have one that you can connect a DeWalt battery to, but it is. And if you're wondering why I'm not getting these right here, I used to have one. I used it once, couldn't use it after it clogged so bad that I couldn't use it again. So I'm willing to spend a little bit more because I paint a lot. I want something that it can last me a long time. Give me a second. I'm eating my M&Ms. I think the candy helps with the stress these projects cause sometimes. So I passed by the paint department and the same guy that couldn't mix the paint the other day was there. He asked me if I got the paint and I'm like, yeah, I got it. They were able to, mix it for me. Must have been the computer. He's like, no, it was my fault. There was a thing that I was supposed to do and I didn't know. I'm so sorry. I'm like, man, it's okay. I got it. I got the paint I needed. It's all good. But I appreciate that he, he acknowledged that it was his fault. He apologized. People make mistakes and, that's okay. Yes, it took me an extra trip, but then we went and had dinner at a nice restaurant, so it was all right. So now I'm going home with my brand new sprayer and hopefully, maybe today I can get a clear coat on. Okay, rant over. At least this one stands on its own and I can pour easier. I needed to plug it in. I had the wrong tip in. This comes with a stain tip and a paint tip. I thought maybe being a clear finish, I would use the stain tip so it goes in thinner. I don't know. I guess the polyacrylic's pretty thick, so the paint tip is the one that works for this. That's a lot though. See the problem? You see how that's dripping? Okay, I gotta get the hang of this before I start. I decided to try it on the bottom half since the dressers are gonna cover that part, but it wasn't working out. I just really want to scream in frustration right now. The clear coat was dripping a lot, and it didn't matter how I sprayed it. I tried different distances, different speed settings. I tried holding it straight, holding it at an angle. Nothing worked. It just kept dripping. This is not gonna work. The gun is just like spitting everywhere. And I don't even know if it's my fault, if the product's not meant to do what it's supposed to do. So I finally gave up on the sprayer and decided to do this by hand. I grabbed a mini roller and a brush and I started applying the clear coat manually. The polyacrylic doesn't include any instructions for rolling either, just brushing. But I figured a roller couldn't be any worse than the sprayer. Honestly, this product probably isn't meant to be sprayed, which explains why I'm having so many issues. But I like experimenting because that's how you learn, and at least hopefully you won't make the same mistake. For the finish, I picked satin. That's usually my go-to finish. I usually don't like the look of semi-gloss. It's too shiny. Flat is hard to clean, so it's not the right finish for this. So satin is a happy medium. It's not really flat, but it's not really shiny. But I'm kind of curious to know, what would you have picked? Do you like semi-gloss better, or would you have gone with a satin? Since I won't be spraying, I guess I won't need this.
I love this part. Just ripping everything.
There's no audio, but this is basically what I said. What do you think? I know, it looks exactly the same. I went through all that trouble, and it looks the same. Then after that, I explained that I needed a second coat because the surface feels pretty rough, which I expected. Every time I do a clear coat or even primer, the surface is always rough, so I have to do a quick sand to make it smooth. And then I'm not sure what I kept talking about, but this went on for another minute and a half. So that's the summary. I'm sanding with 320 grit. It's just a very quick sand by hand. I apply no pressure and it's just enough to make it smooth.
Kind of worried about what this room looks like now. It's fake, it's fake. Just FYI, it's a joke, okay? Just a joke. Why do you have a fake arm, you might ask? Well, I just like to dress up as a zombie sometimes. High five. I can't remember if I mentioned this before or not, but the walls in the closet are not normal. They are shiny. They must have like a melamine surface. You know how melamine is like glossy and shiny? So I'm afraid that the paint will peel right off. Actually, the paint will peel right off because on the samples, I could take my nail and just like, and it will come right off. So I got a bonding primer to avoid that. So I'm gonna prime the walls. This side of the cabinet is also gonna be painted, just the outside. But that's the only thing I'm gonna prime because I think everything else should be fine with 2 coats of paint.
I've heard that if you're painting in a dark color, that it's a good idea to tint the primer to get better coverage. So when I went to buy the paint at the first store where the color wasn't able to be mixed, the associate also told me that they weren't allowed to tint the primer anymore. So I didn't get the primer tinted, and I'm just doing white primer. It should be okay though. I got pretty good quality paint, so it should be covered in 2 coats.
While the primer dries, I'm gonna try this out on the trim that I have to paint anyways. And if it looks promising out here, I'm gonna go ahead and spray the closet next. It clogs a lot. It clogged again. This is not looking promising. I mean, the finish is nice. It's doing what it's supposed to do, but it is clogging every second. Clogged again. Ugh. I had to go refill it. This whole thing gone, and just the trim. And I'm not even done. But I did lower the speed. Maybe I had it too high. I'm still not sure about the sprayer, but I really wanted to try it on the trim. I mean, it covers really well when it works, but it clogs quite a bit and it ran out of paint so quickly. Part of what I thought was clogging was running out of paint, but it did clog a couple times. I just hope that doesn't happen inside because to unclog it, I have to turn the knob and basically like it shoots at a very high pressure. I don't think that's a good idea to do inside the closet. It works okay other than that. I wouldn't say I'm impressed with it. Okay, let's try this again. I'm excited. I'm excited but scared because I've never done a black ceiling and I'm just wondering what that's gonna look like.
I usually buy tools only when I need them. If a project could be more efficient with a certain tool and I can afford it, that's when I make the purchase.
Oh no, don't do this.
So for this project, I thought it was a good chance to invest in a smaller sprayer since my pneumatic one didn't work out. Plus I've always wanted a smaller sprayer for small projects. The sprayer would have been a great idea for the closet shelves because there were so many fixed shelves to do a coat around, and doing it by hand was time consuming.
It's dark in here. I definitely need more light. I knew that was gonna happen. Don't worry.
But instead, I spent a lot of time troubleshooting the sprayer and it didn't work out. I ended up cleaning 2 sprayers by the end of the clear coat. And since I wasn't sure the sprayer was working properly, I decided to spray the ceiling and walls even though I originally planned to paint them by hand. I needed to test the sprayer to know if I should return it. Honestly, I'm not impressed with the sprayer, but I thought a smaller sprayer would waste less paint than my big one.
This will be my 3rd refill that I have to do.
Which was the main reason for buying it. I also thought it would be easier to clean. It wasn't. It took almost 3 quarts of paint for the trim, the ceiling, and the walls. By the second coat, I was almost out of paint, and I still need to do touch-ups and more trim, so I might end up buying more paint, which is funny because I was complaining about not needing this much. But I'm keeping the sprayer because I did figure out how to use it, and I know it'll be useful in the future. But if I could go back, I wouldn't have bought it. I would have just painted everything by hand or try using my bigger sprayer. I don't know what all that protection around my face was for, because look, I got a little something in my nose. It feels like entering a different dimension when I come in here. This is wild. Okay, I'm gonna start taking everything off and see how this turned out. It doesn't feel like a room in this house. Like, it is so wild, so different. In a good way. I like it. I like how this is turning out. And I've been wanting to experiment with designs in the rooms, and I feel like the closet is the perfect space to experiment, to go bold. So I'm glad I did it. I love the black ceiling. I don't know why, but I love the black ceiling. I'm changing that light fixture. There needs to be more light in here. I'm gonna put a light up here and a mirror. I love how this is turning out. Like, this was so cluttered. We could barely get in here. I mean, we get in here to get our clothes and stuff, but now this is gonna be our dressing room. We used to get dressed in our bedroom and we always had like a mess of clothes and laundry. Not anymore. Like, this room, this is it. Like, we will be able to get dressed in here, keep all the clothes in here, keep all the laundry in here, which is gonna make our bedroom less cluttered. So it's not only like looking super, super pretty, it's I think the functionality of it is going to be worth it. This is amazing. I'm just I'm like impressed with how this is turning out. I still have more to go. I gotta do all the trim work. I gotta do the wallpaper and the mirror. So the first thing I need to do is rebuild this door because it's a little too small for the mirror I bought, which means I need to go to the store and get more wood. I already came to Lowe's. I forgot the trailer and the saw wasn't working. I needed the wood cut so it could fit in my car, but since it wasn't working, couldn't take the wood, so I'm back again. And I brought the trailer this time. If you fall off that thing, I'm just gonna laugh at you. To build the access door, I had to get plywood that was 1/2 inch thick because anything thicker than that plus the mirror will get hit by the drawers when I open them. I was kind of lucky though because the plywood was damaged on one side and the cashier noticed, so she gave me a discount. I ended up getting this for like half off. I think I just got through the sawhorse. After cutting through the sawhorse, which happens more often than I would like to admit, I finished cutting the length of the plywood. I then cut the width, making the whole piece slightly bigger than the mirror I'm putting on.
Excuse me, I need to go into my office for a moment. Pee 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 pee. Would you mind shutting the door?
Which door? I'm amazed this worked. I'm amazed you fit in there. Are you done?
No.
Can I talk about my plans?
I live here now. This is my box. Are you seeing if anybody's home?
I am looking to see what the studs are. Okay, so stud's probably around here. Stud's probably starts here, probably somewhere around there. It's kind of hard to explain now, but this is gonna have wallpaper, but I still need it to be screwed in, and the screws have to be accessible because this is an access panel, so it needs to be taken off. I didn't want to do like hinges or anything that would make the door easy to open because, I don't know, it doesn't get open often at all. The only time this will get open if there's a flood, I hope that doesn't happen, or if the water heater needs to be changed, which hopefully I'm years from that. So anyways, I'm lining it up, trying to figure out what I'm doing before I put the wallpaper on. Because the challenge is gonna be doing the wallpaper on the wall and also on this, kind of trying to match it all together. It's like all working in my head. Okay, you wanna know what the real challenge is? I gotta screw this on 4 or 5 inches off the ground so that I can run trim at the bottom. So, how am I gonna do that? If you can give me, you see all that scrap wood over there? Bring me all of that. That is not it, those are shims. Like, what is this gonna do? I need to lift it 4 or 5 inches.
Look, okay, it seems like that might be scrap wood, okay? I won't chuck this at you because this is like bigger and I feel like that could actually do some damage.
I think I need to go up a little bit more, but I can probably shim it. Putting a lot of trust on that painter's tape up there.
You say shims?
I also marked lines here so that is centered. It's kind of centered with the bottom of the closet, not the top.
And that was one of the first bad decisions I made for this part of the project. So you will see me regretting life later.
I'm drawing a plumb line so that when I put the wallpaper, I line it up with that line, and hopefully everything's straight and it's easy to line up the rest of the wallpaper. I watched a total of 1 tutorial on how to do this. It's one of those tutorials that made it look really easy. We're off to a great start. Aha, I got it. Ooh.
Did you just rip it? Did you just rip it?
Okay, I need to be very careful with this. I did just rip it. Look, can you see it?
Yep. Okay.
Okay, well the good news is we ordered exactly as much wallpaper as we need, so
I hope I don't have to order another roll.
If it isn't clear yet, I've never put out wallpaper before, unless you count sticking a little piece of wallpaper inside of a drawer. But despite my rough start of ripping the wallpaper fresh out of the roll, I was feeling pretty confident.
So this doesn't reach all the way here, but that's because there's gonna be a trim there covering it, so it should be fine. Okay, I'm probably not supposed to cut this yet, but it's, I noticed that I put this kind of crooked, so I need to take it off and straighten it. Okay. All right.
I think getting the first piece up was probably the hardest part, just trying to line it up perfectly, but once I had it in place, I started peeling out the rest of the backing and smoothing it out with the scraper that had felt on it. One thing I learned from the tutorial is that using fabric or felt helps prevent scratches on the wallpaper, which is definitely something I didn't want to deal with.
You want to talk through your thoughts, what you're thinking?
I need to ripping it. I am eyeballing this, so wish me luck. Alright, this is so bad. I was trying to save this part right here to put on the door so that it all lines up together, but my cut was extremely crooked. So I think I'm gonna forget about that. I'm just gonna do the door separately. Hope that I have enough wallpaper to do the door. But if I don't, I'll just order more. Basically, I was trying to make sure this wasn't waste, but it is going to be waste now because I can't cut a straight line. I think I just need practice.
Anyone else think scissors look like birds? Like this screw is the eyeball and the blades are the beak. Oh, you got that one started a lot easier than last time.
The second panel was a little easier since all I had to do was line it up with the first one and make sure the design matched. The only issue, the instructions said to overlap it, but overlapping kind of messed up the pattern, so I had to overlap it just enough without making it too obvious. Through my research of trying to pick out wallpaper, I found there's two types of wallpaper. There's peel and stick and the one you install with adhesive. The peel and stick wallpaper is basically like a giant sticker. You peel off the backing and you stick it right onto the wall, like I'm doing right now. And that's great if you want something temporary. Apparently it's renter friendly because it's removable without damaging the wall. Traditional wallpaper, on the other hand, needs adhesive or paste to stick. It's a bit more of a commitment. I've heard mixed opinions of the ease of installation for the peel and stick versus the paste. Apparently the wallpaper and paste, when you install it, it gives you a little bit of wiggle room to slide the wallpaper around into place, while the peel and stick, well, you see me struggling. If I put it wrong, I have to peel off the entire thing and do it again. I'm gonna do something really stupid, but I should have come all the way down to here, but I was trying to be mindful of waste. So I think I'm actually gonna cut this around the door and I'm just gonna patch this, but it's not going to be visible. The door is gonna cover it. So it just bothers me, but it's gonna be covered anyways. It's ripping, it's ripping, it's ripping. No, 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 please don't rip. Don't. That is the last thing I need.
Looks like a professional hack job, dear.
This looks so bad, but
Trust the process.
trust the process. Seriously, trust the process. This part that was hanging here was making everything really heavy, and I was afraid that I would rip, and it did. It ripped right here. So I think it was a good idea to cut it with scissors and just get the excess weight off so that I can now work this small part right here. Okay, so I pre-cut this one. See how thin it is? To make it easier, since I don't have to go around the wall. I think that's probably the easiest. It's like right here. And the only reason you notice it is because it is off a little bit because I'm overlapping it.
but it is like from far away, I can't see it. There you go. Same thing here. It's gonna be a trim covering the seam and the ends there. So I only have enough wallpaper to do a bit here, a bit on this side, and somehow I gotta match the bottom. But the mirror is gonna cover most of this, so it's not gonna be visible. The original goal was supposed to have wallpaper on this whole thing. It's just, I thought that would be easier, but nothing's easy. Okay, let me see how I'm gonna do this.
45 minutes later, and still right where we left her. How's it going, Tiffany?
I'm trying to make this work. I think it's gonna look good. It's a little patch together. It's just definitely a patch job. I was able to match one side but not the other. Now keep in mind, only like 1.5 inches is gonna be visible, so about this much. So I'm trying to line it up in a way that maybe just like the green, where the seam is, maybe just the greens line up. Even after all the issues with the wallpaper, I don't hate it, and I find it kind of satisfying, so I would probably do this again sometime.
That was graceful. Like, it looked stunning. It was the most beautiful and graceful artistic movement I've ever seen in my entire life.
This is probably the most uncomfortable place to do this, but I don't feel like moving anywhere else in the house to do this. Like, I'm just, whatever, just do it here. I started here and... like it never happened. You know what I just noticed? This side of the wallpaper is upside down. I'm gonna dry fit it, put the mirror, see how I feel. Can you tell it's upside down? I don't think so, but I feel like it's gonna bother me. So in the access panel, I'm going to do quarter round all the way around it, and it's like the small quarter round. And the reason I'm doing that is because there's a seam, obviously, so I think that the trim is gonna separate it nicely, and it's also not gonna look so weird that the patterns don't match. I wanted the patterns to match, but that was not possible. And I am going to let my upside down wallpaper fly. You can't tell it's upside down. Like, this is literally the only piece you see, so that's why I only did the edges. I just needed just enough because the mirror is basically gonna cover the whole thing. But this trim and the rest of this is a tomorrow project. See you then. The next day, I installed the access panel using very thin screws so they'll be barely visible. If you're ever curious about those really bitty screws that I'm using, I mean, they're like super long, but they're like really skinny. They're called trim head screws. Let's play Can You Spot the Screws? The good thing with the busy wallpaper is that it almost blends in with everything that's going on. I will use touch-up paint, so the same paint I use that I match for the background, I'm just gonna use to touch up the screws so that they blend in a little bit more. There's 8 screws. Yeah, so there's 8 screws. One here, 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 and the bottom. Same thing on that side. I wish the mirror was big enough to cover the screws, but the studs are that wide. All right, let's mount the mirror. This is normally very easy, but for some reason I couldn't get the mirror on the screws. understand what was so hard about that. After all that, I have to remove the mirror again because I need to put the trim around it and the dresser, and I don't want to do work around the mirror, risking that it'll break. But I wanted to mount it to have the screws in the right place, so that's why I did that first. Don't, come on. Okay. For the access panel, I'm doing a small quarter round to go around it. I did match the color of the wallpaper, which is a really, really dark brown. And I went to match it at Lowe's. Like I took a piece of wallpaper and they couldn't match it because it was too shiny. So I got the closest match. I mixed it up with black. I just kept adding black until it was the right color. And here we are. I painted this along with the rest of the trim that I need for the closet the other day. I just did that in one evening so that I will have it ready to go. Misty! You found a stick, but what's your toy? Go get your toy.
How you doing, Misty? How you doing, Misty? You're such a good girl. Yes, you're a good girl.
I started cutting the quarter round that goes around the access door, but I used this larger piece of wood as support to keep the quarter round from shifting since it's such a thin piece.
I'm gonna do a really quick sand because these have some dirty spots. And then I'm gonna do the clear coat on the tops of the dressers.
I was getting to the parts where there's lots of bouncing around between tasks. This usually happens to me when I'm getting towards the end of a big project. There's a lot of little things left to do before I can finish. I still hadn't installed the mirror on the access door to avoid breaking it while I work on that area. And I also needed to do the second coat on all the wood. I was supposed to round the edges of the tops before I did the clear coat, but I forgot, so I'm doing it before I do the second coat. I basically marked it where it seemed right and rounded it with a sander. I'm sure there's a correct way to do this and the correct tool, but this seems to work. To cover the plywood edges, I'm using edge banding. It's pretty simple to apply. You just position the banding on the edge of the plywood and then run an iron over it. The heat activates the adhesive. You're supposed to use a roller afterwards to press it down and ensure a strong bond with the plywood, but I can't find mine, so instead I'm pressing the iron against the plywood until I see a little bit of glue squeezing out. You can kind of see it if you look closely.
I gotta shave the edges off, and there's this tool that I have somewhere. Oh, right here. So I use this to take the edges off, but I use it very carefully. It is very possible to scratch and peel off part of the top layer of your plywood, so I try to be very careful with it.
Shaving off the edges of the banding is where I've had issues in the past. But I've done it so much at this point after building the cabinets for the laundry makeover that I guess over time when you do something over and over, you kind of get good at it. One of the most satisfying things for me to do when I'm finishing any wood surface is making it really smooth. I did a quick sand with 320 grit before I did the second coat, but sometimes if I'm doing 3 coats, I'll go up to 400 grit to make it really, really smooth. While the tops were drying, I added spacers between the dressers so that the trim would look flush when I install it.
Sounds like something's loose on the inside. No, don't do this to me. I like really need you right now. I think this thing broke. Oh, okay. BRB. I took the nails out. I press every button, mess with it, put the nails back in, and now it works. I'm not really sure what was going on, but I fixed it somehow. I did spacers here on this side too, and you can kind of see how the trim's gonna go. So the spacers is just more to, I don't know, so the trim has like a stopping point and there's some support. I don't think they necessarily need it. I'm actually gonna screw the dresser box into the trim so that everything is nicely tight together. I wanted to show you this side here is a little bit tricky because I was struggling with these dressers sticking out of these panels because I cut these panels too short. That was the whole thing. But anyways, so I got it towards flush at the bottom now, but this side is exposed. So here, you can see if I put the trim, the dresser still sticks out. See, that was the original problem. And I do spacers in between them to avoid that, but this side is visible. So I glued 2 pieces of 3/4 inch plywood. I'm gonna put it like that. I'm gonna do that. And yes, there's gonna be a seam in there, but it's barely visible because it's literally behind the door of the closet. And that's how I'm going to get it flush. So to hold the countertops in place, I mean, they're pretty heavy, so they're not gonna move, but I'll feel more secure by using L brackets, just so they're secured in place. I should have come over just a tiny bit more, but the reason that's really tight, see the, I wanted to make sure the door could open. I will say though, this right here does hit it, but it's no biggie. I have a problem. I made this center with the bottom part, like this right here. And this right here is all centered. That's why I didn't really make this much bigger. I didn't worry about centering with the wall because I thought that that would be what would look best. But then I put it on and I'm staring at it and it's off center up here. And I didn't think that would bother me at first, but it does. I noticed this problem as soon as I put it on, but I wanted to put all the drawers in place, countertop and everything to really look at it. I even went on Canva, I took a picture of this and I added 1 light and then I tested it with 2 lights. If I do 2 lights, and that looked even worse. So it's bothering me. It bothers me. It's been bothering me the entire time. So I'm gonna have to remake the access panel door, because it is perfectly framed to cover that hole. So if I move it, part of the opening is gonna be exposed. So I need to make a bigger door so that I can center it.
So I used the leftover plywood to make the new access panel. This time I visually tested to make sure I would like it, but my plan was different this time since I didn't have enough wallpaper. I decided to build a frame to go around the mirror, so I bought decorative trim, I measured and cut to go around the access panel.
I think it's gonna be really nice.
Then I painted everything black, the same color as the trim in the walls.
Why wasn't this my first choice? Isn't that gorgeous? All right, I gotta do a bunch of measuring to center it and mount it, and then we'll stare at it some more.
I considered doing an outer edge to cover the exposed plywood, but it would have made the mirror too bulky, so I decided to just paint it.
All right, Tony, this is where I need you. You're basically gonna hold it in place, so I'm aligning it. Actually, bring me the level. I just wanna make sure this is plumb. It's I have to squeeze through so I don't move the This is, we go through this all the time so that the camera doesn't move.
Why are you shimming that?
Because I'm trying to see how much of the shim I have to put under.
I know how I'll make it level. I'm gonna put a shim under the level. That will fix my problem.
No, I promise I'm not crazy. Okay, doesn't matter. Someone's gonna say it's crooked anyway. Yeah, it's recording. Are you doing push-ups on the mirror? If you break this mirror, you are paying for the new mirror and mounting it.
By myself?
By yourself.
My glasses are falling down. Would you mind doing me a solid? Thank you.
Somehow I missed the stud.
I think. This wood attacking us. So me about there. The stud's here. I was so off. I'm missing the stud.
Are you looking for it in the floor?
I had marked it. Stud's probably around here. Stud is about here. Oh.
Well, according to your measurements, you should have hit it.
No, I think it's a little bit more there. Okay, let go real quick. Seriously? Where the hell's the stud? Give me the tape measure. 3.5.
You lost your bit in the... That's not a nail. That is
The bit got stuck. I mean, hopefully that means the stud is there.
Did you hit it that time? It sounded like you did.
No, it would have made that crack, 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 crack sound. That's what a stud sounds like. 105 screws later. I'm sorry that light is in your face, but I literally can't see what I'm doing without it. Okay. We are going to make this look like it never happened.
I used drywall compound to cover all the holes and touched them up with paint after it dried.
I don't know if this has been bothering everybody, but this mirror is so dirty. Every time Tony sees it, she's like, that mirror is so dirty. So Tony, this is for you. What do you think? I love this. I think I have a new obsession with building frames for mirrors, like fancy frames. I did one for the bathroom and I loved it. I enjoy building this one, I'm not gonna lie. I don't know why this wasn't the first route that I went, just building a frame. I think at the beginning I thought maybe it was gonna be too much work to do that. I don't regret going through the extra work. It was worth it. It looks so much better. Next, I'm going to be doing trim. So it's gonna be trim on all of the edges, and it's gonna be black trim that matches the dresser. And I think this is what ties everything together. Like just by putting it here, this is so nice. This was like my vision from the beginning, is doing wood on the inside and then black trim on the outside and the whole room just being black. I can't believe it's like, I'm almost there.
Luckily, I had the trim ready to be cut to size. But let me tell you, some of the trim in this room is a weird size. First, I bought 1x4s for the top trim, but they ended up being too short. So I returned them and I got 1x6s instead. But those were too big, so I had to rip them down to almost 4 inches. Now that I'm working on the final details of this closet, I can't help to wonder, is everything actually going to fit? Because not everything that used to be in this closet is coming back. A lot of it will have to find new spots because I specifically want this space to be just for clothes, shoes, and a few miscellaneous things we keep in the bedroom. And I just hope what I've built is enough to keep this closet organized and clutter-free for good. Spoiler alert, yes, there's a brand new light fixture. I cheated a little bit since I already had some electricians running around the house doing some work. I just had them swap out the light fixture and upgrade the switch so that it will match the wall. And before anybody panics about those light bulbs, I will be changing them. They just haven't arrived yet. Thank you. Okay, I gotta cut this again. There's this annoying little trim that I had to cut in order to fit the new trim against the wall.
Ah! Gonna have to do touch-up paint.
Let's hope the trim covers it. This is harder than it looks, okay? I might have to get another ladder for Tony to be on the other side. Don't. Can you help me? We can start with 94 plus. What's the 94 plus 1?
What happened?
I measured this the wrong way. This is how the trim goes. Now you see that big old gap. I have to fix that. Anyways, I can fix it. I'm just annoyed. I'm ready for the next trim. The next trim was easy since it was just a straight cut and it was going from wall to wall. I just had to make sure it fit. I do need that trim because I can't reach it from here.
Did you catch it?
Yep, thank you.
Y'all have no idea how tight it is in here right now.
Lucky for me, I have a very dedicated camera person who is shoved in the corner. I love my new light, but it was easier with one light bulb. I think I have it supported enough. Clamps, they're awesome because they're holding this in place. Like if I had to hold this by myself, you know, and try to get it straight and nail it, that would be hard. Can I get the nailer, please?
No.
Ow. Just poke my eye out with this. Pretty please?
What makes you think that I am in any position to hand this to you?
It's okay, you can move the camera. I'm sure people will understand.
No, they will not. I demand perfection for my art.
We have this thing where we really try not to move the camera from its spot so we can record like a section all in the same spot, if that makes sense.
Banana.
After I got done with the top trim, I measured to cut all the vertical trim. The trim that goes flush with the dressers, I secured using screws. I installed this trim backwards, and I noticed after I put it on, because the sticker is showing, maybe I should flip it around. I gotta do touch-up paint anyways. This trim is wider than each panel, so in order for me to center it, I drew a little mark on a trim. I just adjust the trim to that line and then nail it in place.
always get happy when I put the countertop in. Let me secure the countertop real quick with the L brackets.
Not positive affirmations, you know, like hang in there.
Nope, I'm just gonna screw it.
Also a positive affirmation, just screw it.
Oh, looking nice, looking nice. All right, let's do the ones up there. Oops. So crooked. Please don't nail my finger. All right, I think I'm done with this sign. Let's take a look at this trim. Now this side. So I'm just gonna do some editing magic. I love it. The black trim with the wood on the inside was my vision, and I love how it came out. I still have a little bit of trim to do, like on the floor, but it's kind of getting late tonight. This took me all day. Even though it seems simple, it still took me all day. But I am very, very happy how this is turning out, so I'll see you tomorrow. Ready? Okay. Let me stand over here so I can look at it and decide if that's the color that I want. You can let that one down, and we're gonna look at the wood one. All right, let's hold that one. Oh, don't hit the mirror.
You're the one that hit the mirror. I was doing just that one was my fault.
If you break this mirror. All right, I think I have an opinion. What do you think, Tony? This is your closet too, so your opinion does matter.
I like the wood.
You like the wood?
I feel like with the black trim and then having a black thing there, it would be a little too striking.
I like the black, but I did a poll in the community tab and the black won by like 60%. But the ones that voted for wood gave me a really good reason, and I think that made me change my mind. I was going to go for black. What really sold me on wood is the fact that it won't scratch, or well, it probably will scratch, it just won't be visible like it might be on the black. I don't know if it'll happen fast or if it'll happen in years, because these things are supposed to be built for a closet, so supposed to be durable, but who knows? I guess I don't want to find out if it scratches or not, because if it does scratches, I'm going to regret getting the black closet rod. And Tony chose wood also, so but I appreciate your opinion. It did help me make up my mind. Before I started drilling any holes, I tested the distance of the closet rods by putting them up with painter's tape. Once I knew the distance was right, I then installed them permanently. I'm sure there's a standard depth for the closet rods that you can look up on Google, but my closet is kind of small, so I just made it work for me. In the debate of wood rods versus metal rods, one thing that people pointed out is that wood is more likely to bend than metal. But I'm actually not worried about that because I'm not dealing with a long span. The longest closet rod is only about 30 inches wide. The real test. Can I reach it? That's pretty good. Yeah, that's pretty good. The first one was easy to put in, so I was pretty confident doing the rest.
We left our love with question marks, with broken hearts. I went home my life without you.
What? The wood rods seem to be unfinished, so I think what I'm gonna do is wipe them with wipe-on poly. That way they'll be sealed. Gotta cut it a little bit shorter. There you go. I have a problem. I was gonna run the rods all like even, the same height, same depth, but I realized these that are next to each other, if I do that, the screws will run into each other. The wood is too thin to support 2 screws in the same location. So I'm gonna have to hang them different depth, because I think it'll look weird if I just put them wee. So I installed the closet rods with a 1/4 of an inch difference in depth, and I don't think that will be noticeable. I need to do something with this wall because it's dead space. It looks nice if I leave it like that, but I have a lot of stuff and I want to use this space as much as possible. And I think that if I put a pegboard here with hooks and little baskets and stuff, I can maybe hang some belts, scrunchies, hats, just, I don't know, just miscellaneous stuff that I have and they're taking up space in the room. I can just put them in here. The other thing is, this panel right here, I don't want to do a pegboard here because when you first walk in, this is when you first walk into the closet. I don't want like a huge clutter first thing when you walk in, but I do want to do some hooks so that I can maybe hang my purse that I use the most, stuff like that. Like, I think that would work. And I found these very pretty hooks. So if you're not using it, you put it up, but then when you use it, see? It comes down. It's pretty cool. I got them off of Amazon. I'll try to remember to link them below. So I'll do, I don't know, like 4 of these maybe. And I think that would work for this wall over here. All right, let's find out if I have enough pegboard. Remember those tiny shelves I cut for the shoes? I had to clear coat all 10 of them and edge band the front edges, and I did it during a surprise live stream. It was our first time trying it, so I wasn't sure how it would go, but a lot of you showed up and seemed to enjoy hanging out and chatting. So I might do a live stream once in a while, but next time I'll give you a heads up. If you missed it, you can always rewatch it under the live tab on my channel. I have to build a frame on the back of it because when I put the little things that go on there, there needs to be room between the pegboard and the wall so that I can hang stuff. So I'm building a trim that goes in the back, and I'm also building a trim to go in the front so that it doesn't look so raw. I gotta make it work with something out of this pile because I've been collecting so much scrap wood. I think this one for here, yeah, it's pretty much 2 trims. I just sandwich it together, paint it, that should work. I really wanted to use the scrap wood for all the trim, but I'm thinking that it might look a little too plain. I want it to look like it's meant to be there. I don't want this to look like a tool wall. The closet, it's nice, it's beautiful, it's elegant. And I think that just doing the pegboard with some flat trim thrown on it, it's gonna throw it off a little bit. So I need to go to the store and I want to get decorative trim. So I went to Lowe's and found decorative trim, similar to the mirror trim, but much smaller. Then I got back and cut it to size. I kind of messed up. I made this too big. Here's what happened. I measured down here, right? And that is 23 3/4. But you come all the way over here and it is 22 inches. That's quite a difference. That's almost 2-inch difference. And I should know better because I know walls are not even, but for some reason, I didn't think this wall would be that different. You see how the edges now overlap the little corner trim here? I think it looks a little funny. So that's why I haven't painted it. I had to think about this because I didn't know if I was gonna remake it or just not do it at all. I had to think about this. And after much thinking, I decided I don't care. I am done with this project. And I'm gonna put it up. So I'm gonna paint it. I don't think it will be that bad, but it's definitely bigger than what it was supposed to be up here. I'm gonna patch the edges of this so that there's no seam, so that you can't tell there's like trim stacked on top of each other. So I'm just gonna do it with drywall patch. Plus I have to do the nail holes anyways, and that's like the fastest way I could think of doing this, because the side is gonna be visible. I didn't do that with the other mirror because the sides are not visible, but this is going to be visible. While that dries out there, I'm gonna put this cleat up here, and then I'm gonna hang the pegboard on this, and that's what's gonna hold it in place. I'm just doing nails to hold it in place temporarily. I'll just do one more nail here.
After it dried, I smoothed the edges by sanding. Started wearing an apron for painting so that I stopped ruining my clothes. I've ruined so much clothes with paint. The trim had a lot of detail, so I had to mush and stipple the brush to get into all the crevices. So while that dries, I'm gonna put on a little light above the mirror here. Slightly darker than the mirror. It's the problem with getting like golds. They're actually very hard to match. Like some of them are darker, some of them are lighter, but I don't think it's that big of a deal. And I don't have any outlets or electricity here. I mean, except for the water heater, but I'm not gonna tap into that or mess with that. So I got a battery light, and you can control it with the little remote, or I think this is gonna work. Isn't it so pretty? I will say it doesn't put out a lot of light. I was hoping that it was brighter, but I guess I can't really ask much with battery, but it is. It's not a lot. Oh, that actually looks really cool. It's like dark and moody. Isn't it nice? Look at that. Nice. That actually looks kind of cool. Yeah, it's like a nice accent light if you don't need a lot. So it's more decorative than functional, let's say that. I gotta put a piece of trim up there. I also need a piece of trim there, which I'm gonna do a small quarter round that I already have painted. I just have to cut it to size. And we're gonna check to see if this pegboard is dry. It was dried, but it still needed a second coat.
I'm not sure that I like it. Which kind of means I don't like it. I don't know. I think maybe it looks too tacky. Like it just doesn't fit with the rest of the closet. Something about the pegboard just doesn't look fancy. You know, like the rest of the closet looks really nice, looks elegant. Many of you have described the closet as elegant, and I don't think this pegboard is elegant. But I really don't want to leave that as dead space. So I showed it to Tony, I also sent it to my friend. They both say they love it, so it's gonna stay. It's functional, like it's gonna do what I wanted it to do. I really wanted that to be somewhere where I can hook stuff. You see the hats, I tested it with the hats, and the fact that it's functional, it's perfect. And this is a closet. At the end of the day, this is a closet where we're gonna fill it up with stuff. So I think sacrificing one wall to store different things, it's okay. What is going on with my hair? Okay, what's next? Oops. I did a pilot hole, but for some reason the wood still cracked. I guess with this pegboard thing, it looked a lot better in my mind than it did in person, but it ended up being okay. Does that ever happen to you? Sometimes you imagine something and you think it's gonna look good, but then you see it and you think, what was I thinking? I'm just gonna nail the bottom so it doesn't like move, and then I'm gonna secure the top with screws, and then this should not move. I'll also be very conscious with this so normally the wire just runs straight up. Hopefully that's the case. So I'm making sure that I only nail on the edges or far away from that light switch. This closet took me a while to finish. I don't know what it is about building things from scratch that it takes me so long. I need touch-up paint, but that's everywhere right now. The laundry was the same way. I built every cabinet from scratch and it took me forever. I started this project in December, but full disclosure, there's been a few weeks here and there that I was off from the project because of holidays, family stuff, and behind the scenes channel stuff. So this took 7 weeks, but I only worked 28 days out of those 7 weeks, with some evenings sprinkled in here and there, so maybe around 30 days. I just hope that one day I get efficient because I do enjoy building things from scratch. Now, was it really worth my time? I didn't have a set budget on this, and I kind of lost track of how much I was spending at some point. But I thought I could easily do this closet for under $2,000, right? Wrong. It was over $2,400, but let's compare it to how much I was quoted. The quote was over $7,700, and that included the built-in closet and installation. It did not include any of the painting, lighting, wallpaper, everything else that I did to make this closet truly unique. That was all extra work and materials that were not part of that quote, so it would have been more than that. But that's the number I have to work with, so the total savings of this closet were $5,313 for roughly 30 days of work. So was that really worth my time? Well, this answer will vary depending on your personal situation. That is more than what I used to earn on my last job. And for me, learning these skills and continue to acquire tools so that I can make these projects more efficient, since this is what I do for a living now, is very important. So yeah, for me, this was very worth it, and the learning experience, priceless. I like to show you the numbers because I don't think everyone is aware of how expensive remodeling can be, and I like to be open about it, so that if you ever do anything like this, you can decide whether it's something you want to tackle yourself or hire it out. Either way, if you hire it out, seeing how hard it is, you can appreciate the work of an expert. Coming! I'm actually not coming. I'm gonna change this first, and then I'm actually coming for food. It's usually what I do. And if you do it yourself, then you know what you're walking into, and you can appreciate the savings in your work of art. And if you don't ever want to do this, I don't blame you. I hope you were at least entertained. Ow! I'm just a disaster. I'm trying to do a nice relaxing montage, and I can't even put handles. There's no hope for me. I'm so done with this closet. This hit me in the face, is what happened. It hit me in the face, like it rotated. You see? I did that, and I have my face right here, so when it rotated, it like hit me in the face. I think if I had to spend another week in this closet, I would lose my mind. They look like doorbells.
Some of you were asking if the drawers clear the mirror. They do. There's actually plenty of space for it to open comfortably. One thing I will say about the color black everywhere is that you can see everything. Every scratch, every single piece of dust. So that's the downside of such a dark color like this. But it looks absolutely beautiful, and I don't think it looks as good on camera as it does in person. Welcome to my closet. Let me give you a tour. Let's start with the pegboard. I love it. Even though at the beginning I was like, no, I love it. I can hang so much stuff, especially our hats that we mostly use. So we got our hats there, scrunchies, my hair clips that I use a lot, and then my purses. Belt, these little like hang thingies, they work great. I love them. My clothes, more of my clothes, winter clothes, shoes. The shoes, this is not enough for the amount of shoes I have, so I think I'm gonna get a shoe rack and store more shoes. So unfortunately, that was not enough. So I didn't order enough hangers, so the clothes is a little light. Actually, I don't have that much clothes, but Tony's side, I was not able to put it all. This is Tony's side, so again, a little light on the clothes, but I am confident everything's gonna fit because look at that. Look at all that room. Oh, I almost forgot, and where all the long dresses go. So I'm thinking for another shoe rack, I'm gonna probably just build it and put it right here, or maybe just buy one. I might not build it, it might take too long. I love that I have a place where to put the ironing board. I don't use it a lot, but I like that I have easy access to it. And all these boxes up here is to make you believe that I have organized all my stuff. I have not. I just put them there to make it look pretty for now, because this is the Instagram version of my closet. Not everything that was here before is going to fit, but all of the main stuff will fit in here, or I'll make it fit somehow. But I think I set it up in a way where things won't get lost in here like it was before. It was so bad, so bad. And I just don't see it getting that bad again, just because of how the built-ins are, how the clothes is divided. I love it. I think this is my favorite room of the house now. It used to be the guest bedroom, but now I think this one's definitely my favorite. Well, thank you for joining me. Thank you to all the patrons and members. You guys are awesome, and I will see you on the next video.